Chapter 3867. Great Emperor Mieyu's anger could not be extinguished for a long time. Even though the enemy was annihilated, Lungxian remained in the Soul River forever. The most painful thing in the world was not being able to get close to you even though you're right in front of me. Roar. An earth-shattering roar spread out continuously. The vegetation within a radius of 10,000 miles was instantly annihilated and turned into ruins. Even the martial artists who were training in these areas were killed instantly. They did not even know what had happened before they died. Many ancient experts remained silent. They knew Great Emperor Mieyu better than anyone else. Lungxian had fallen into the Soul River and her life was uncertain. This was a huge blow to Great Emperor Mieyu. Especially, Great Emperor Mieyu was helpless in this regard. No one knew how long this went on for before the area became completely quiet. Great Emperor Mieyu had disappeared. Some said that he was not afraid of death and had entered the Soul River. Some said that he wanted to return to the chaotic sovereign realm and had entered the core of the Death Cliff. Of course, these rumors had not been verified. Time flowed by. It has already been 100 years since they arrived at the Cliff of Death. During this period of time, Fang Chen has experienced many things. Princess Huang has also experienced many things. No matter how difficult the path before this was, at the very least, they have now arrived at the core of the Cliff of Death. Phew. After resting for a month, both of their bodies were adjusted to their best condition. When the sky turned bright, Princess Huang opened her eyes and stood up slowly. Her face was solemn as she said softly, "Let's go. Let's go in." Standing in the wilderness, they could feel the boundless aura coming from the core. It was as though they were in the ancient river of time. It was extremely shocking. Fang Chen stood up and stood beside Princess Huang. He took out the Sky Destroyer sword and entered a state of battle readiness. The two of them entered the core of the Death Cliff one after another. Wang. A white light flashed before Fang Chen's eyes and he was shocked to find himself and Princess Huang in an unfamiliar space. This space was extremely strange and gave off an oppressive feeling. Is this the core of the Death Cliff? Fang Chen mumbled. Princess Phoenix, who was behind him, gradually regained her composure. She took out a resplendent pearl from her robes and channeled her gentle energy into it. A moment later, the pearl emitted a strand of multicolored light. Fang Chen was somewhat astonished. Princess Phoenix explained, "This is a gift from my master. He once warned me that this pearl can only be used after entering the core of the Death Cliff." Wang. The surroundings of this pearl radiated layers of light, completely enveloping Fang Chen and Princess Huang. The two of them raised their heads and glanced over. What entered their eyes was a desolate killing intent. Dong dong dong. At this moment, Fang Chen heard the sound of fighting in the distance. Someone is fighting. He was startled and his figure flashed as he brought Princess Huang along. Not long later, they arrived in front of a hill and saw the battle scene. At this moment, on the other side of the hill, two people were fighting. Whoosh. One of them held a saber in his hand. He was a saber principal cultivator. According to Fang Chen's knowledge, his realm should belong to the invincible sage realm. As for the other person, he was rather peculiar. He did not have any weapons and was barehanded, yet he was able to resist the saber in the hands of a cultivator of the Way of the Blade. After watching the battle for a while, Fang Chen let out a soft cry of surprise. The barehanded cultivator did not have a strong aura, but he gave off an incomparably heavy feeling. Strictly speaking, his realm was even suppressed by the saber principal cultivator. However, he was able to resist the saber principal cultivator with ease. What's going on? Fang Chen was very surprised. Princess Huang frowned as though she had thought of something. Suddenly, she held her head with both hands and let out a painful cry. "What's wrong with you?" Fang Chen asked anxiously. His palm was placed on Princess Huang's shoulder. Majestic power was injected into her body. Gradually, Princess Huang's body stabilized. A shocked expression appeared on her fair face. "Jialuo clan?" she muttered to herself. "Jialuo clan?" Fang Chen was even more puzzled. He had never heard of such a clan in the world. In my inherited memories, there is a description of the Jialuo clan, Princess Huang suppressed the shock in her heart and said slowly. The so-called Jaluo clan was one of the most powerful clans in the world. It was a top clan that was on par with the primitive clans. However, this clan was very strange and rarely appeared. Many people said that the Jaluo clan did not exist in the world. They were just the result of some powerful cultivator's evolution. Some people also said that the Jaluo clan controlled the 6 paths of reincarnation and were the true gods of the world. Some people also said that the Jaluo clan was a cursed clan. In short, there were different opinions about the Jaluo clan. Even the primitive clans had a limited understanding of the Jaluo clan. In Princess Huang's inherited memories, the Jaluo clan cultivated the 6 paths of reincarnation. When cultivated to the extreme, they could evolve the path of reincarnation on their own body. At this moment, seeing the secret technique that the bare-handed cultivator used, Princess Huang was greatly shocked. This was because she could vaguely see a grey circle on this person's body. This was the legendary 6 paths of reincarnation. Controlling the 6 paths of reincarnation? Fang Chen exclaimed. If the Jaluo clan controlled the 6 paths of reincarnation, then what did the great sage at the end of the path of reincarnation have to do with them? After Princess Huang's explanation, he looked at the bare-handed cultivator seriously. Sure enough, every time the bare-handed cultivator used a secret technique, there would be a faint grey circle on his body. This meant that he only cultivated one of the 6 paths of reincarnation. Princess Huang nodded. This would explain why he could easily block the opponent's attack even though he was bare-handed and his realm was lower than his opponent's. Because he was from the Jaluo clan. Catcher. While the two were discussing, the Jaluo clan cultivator suddenly found an opportunity to attack. He controlled the grey circle and defeated his opponent in one fell swoop. Hiss. The aura of reincarnation instantly spread. After sensing this familiar aura, Fang Chen almost cried out in surprise. Reincarnation, it is indeed the aura of reincarnation. Fang Chen was shocked. The saber cultivator was drowned by the aura of reincarnation and died instantly. The Jaluo clan cultivator restrained his aura and turned his head to look at Fang Chen and Princess Huang. Since the two of you are here, why don't you show yourself? Hearing this, Princess Huang was shocked. Had they been discovered? Fang Chen patted her gently and then showed himself. Unexpectedly, the Jaluo clan cultivator grinned when he saw Fang Chen and said, "So you are from the same clan. Which branch are you from?" Fang Chen was stunned. Chapter 3868. A member of the same clan? Fang Chen was stunned. What was going on? This person was obviously a member of the Jaluo clan, so why did he say that he was also a member of the same clan? He kept thinking in his mind, but on the surface, he nodded and grinned. I am from the lineage of the great sovereign. Although he had read about the Jaluo clan in the ancient records before, this was the first time he had seen this clan. He knew almost nothing about the Jaluo clan and didn't know how many branches there were. Being questioned by the Jaluo clan cultivator, he could only brace himself and make up a story. Of course, he wasn't just making things up when he said that he was from the lineage of the great sovereign. After careful consideration, he guessed that since the Jaluo clan thought that he was also a member of the same clan, then it was very likely that it was because he had once been tainted by the aura of reincarnation. He thought of the great sovereign at the end of the samsara road in the chaos realm. He had only come into contact with the sea of bitterness when he met the great sovereign, and he had only reincarnated with the great sovereign's help to come to the origin world. He suddenly had a bold guess in his mind. Could it be that the great sovereign at the end of the samsara road was a member of the Jaluo clan? Thinking of this, he straightened his back, smiled at the Jaluo clan cultivator, and said the great sovereign's name. Achem. The Jaluo clan cultivator's expression changed dramatically. His dark eyes stared fixedly at Fang Chen. The latter's heart tightened. Had the other party seen through his lie? Fang Chen secretly activated the power of his ultimate sword Dao, ready to fight at any time. Beside him, Princess Huang also looked like she was about to face a great enemy. However, just as the atmosphere gradually froze, the Jaluo clan cultivator suddenly laughed loudly. He walked over and patted Fang Chen on the shoulder. You are from the great sovereign's lineage. This time, it was Fang Chen's turn to be stunned. What was going on? Did the Jialuo clan really have a great sovereign's lineage? He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He had just said it casually, but he had accidentally hit the nail on the head. Seeing the attitude of the Jialuo clansmen towards him, he could clearly feel that they truly treated him as one of their own. He heaved a sigh of relief. The Great Venerate's bloodline used to be one of the top bloodlines in the Jialuo race. What a pity. The Jialuo race martialist frowned as he spoke. At this time, Fang Chen could only pretend to be silent. This was because he didn't know anything about the Jialuo race. He only knew that this race controlled the 6 paths of reincarnation. In fact, he didn't even know who the Grand Monarch was. It's all because of the devouring demon clan. If that old monster hadn't been so ambitious and wanted to become the controller of primal chaos and completely control primal chaos, our Jialuo clan wouldn't have been forced to participate in the war. The Jialuo clan members were somewhat depressed. In the chaos of the darkness, the old monsters of the devouring demons were forced to join the battle. Fang Chen caught on to a few key points. From this, he deduced that the Jialuo clan controlled the 6 paths reincarnation. They should be above the mortal realm. However, the clan master of the demon-devouring clan was too ambitious. He wanted to drain the fate of the chaos world and step into the level of the chaos controller. This was something that the Jialuo clan wouldn't allow to happen. Given the clan master's ambition, once he became the controller of primal chaos, he would definitely destroy the chaos world. Therefore, the Jialuo clan had joined the war. The Grand Monarch's bloodline had probably been completely destroyed in the chaos of the darkness. Only the Grand Monarch had hidden at the end of the path of reincarnation. He seemed to be guarding the path of reincarnation, but he was actually plotting the bigger picture. When he thought of this, Fang Chen felt very conflicted. However, he didn't reveal his identity just because the Grand Monarch was a member of the Jialuo clan. After all, things had changed with the passage of time. No one knew what the Jialuo clan's attitude was now. Or rather, the Grand Monarch's bloodline had been destroyed. The Grand Monarch had no right to speak in the Jialuo clan. If the Jialuo clan knew that he was from the Chaos world, how would they react? In short, Fang Chen remembered the mission on his shoulders. He would do everything he could to evolve his perfect bloodline and step into the primal chaos realm at the same time. This was the most important thing. As for the Jialuo clan member in front of him, since he thought of him as a member of the same clan, then he would beat him at his own game. Brother, my clan is guarding the 6 paths of reincarnation. Why are you here? Fang Chen returned to normal and asked in confusion. The Jialuo clan member raised his head and glanced at Princess Huang. A trace of vigilance appeared in his eyes. Fang Chen hurriedly explained, Brother, don't misunderstand. Although she's not a member of my clan, she's still my Dao companion. Dao companion? A trace of displeasure appeared between the Jialuo clan members' brows. The Jialuo clan has a special bloodline. Marriage with other clans is forbidden. Fang Chen chuckled and explained, Previously, I didn't know that I was a member of the Jialuo clan. I met her in the mortal world. Later, I learned of the clan's situation from the great sovereign. Fang Chen made up a random explanation. As expected, the Jialuo clan member nodded and his expression eased a lot. That's true. The great sovereign's bloodline was completely destroyed. Back then, only the great sovereign managed to escape and hid at the end of the path of reincarnation in the primal chaos realm. He couldn't even enter the 6 paths of reincarnation of our clan. What a pity. It wasn't easy for the great sovereign's bloodline to produce a disciple. The great sovereign probably wants you to continue producing this generation. The Jialuo clan member didn't linger on this topic and returned to the main topic. A war of gods once broke out at the Death Cliff. Countless experts died here. Our clan guards the 6 paths of reincarnation, so we need to filter the vengeful spirits that died. Some people aren't qualified to enter the 6 paths of reincarnation. Fang Chen couldn't help but take a deep breath when he heard this. Filter vengeful spirits. Some people aren't qualified to enter the 6 paths of reincarnation. Did this mean that if one wanted to enter the reincarnation cycle, they would have to depend on the Jaluo clan? As expected, the Jaluo clan member continued, you should know that the core of the Death Cliff is a world of its own, right? Fang Chen nodded. The Jaluo clan member continued, because this is a base of our clan. You can call it a mini reincarnation cycle. The weapon that the world wants to steal is suppressed in this mini reincarnation cycle. I see. Fang Chen nodded. Let's go. Since you're a member of the Great Sovereign's bloodline, I'll take you back to see our clansmen. The Jaluo clan member said, although this is a base of our Jaluo clan, it doesn't mean it's safe. Recently, in order to train our clansmen, our clan specially opened a gap to allow outsiders to enter. You saw the battle just now, didn't you? Fang Chen's heart trembled slightly. It turned out that those people who fought over the Ghost Emperor's weapon were just blindly rushing over. The Jaluo clan was guarding this place. Did they have the right to act so atrociously? As expected, nothing was as simple as it seemed on the surface. Especially the core of the Death Cliff, it actually involved the Jaluo clan. Most importantly, the Great Sovereign guarding the Reincarnation Road was also from the Jaluo clan. This simply stunned Fang Chen. Chapter 3869. After chatting for a while, they found out that this Jaluo clansman was called Jiaoju. They were siblings and he was the 9th in the family, so he called him by his name. What about you? Jiaoju asked. Fang Chen. The two of them chatted happily. Jiaoju didn't doubt that Fang Chen was a fake because he came from the lineage of the great sage in the Chaos Realm and he had the unique reincarnation aura of the Jaluo clan. Therefore, he believed that Fang Chen was from the same clan. Let's go back first. Jiaoju hugged Fang Chen's shoulder and said with a smile. Fang Chen nodded and walked side by side with Jiaoju. He turned back and looked at Princess Huang apologetically. After all, this was the core area of the Death Cliff and it was a world of its own. In order not to be exposed, he had to trouble Princess Huang. However, there was a smile on Princess Huang's fair face. When Fang Chen looked at her, she blushed and lowered her head. Her hair covered her face. When Fang Chen passed the test left by her mother, she had already made her decision. However, since Fang Chen didn't say anything, she couldn't say anything. To be honest, Princess Huang was very happy when Fang Chen said that she was his cultivation companion. Boom. 3 days later, Jiaoju led Fang Chen and Princess Huang into a dense forest. Jiaoju warned, there is a beast king in this forest. Be careful and don't provoke it. Fang Chen nodded. However, when he was about to move forward, an angry beast roar came from the depths of the forest. Jiaoju's expression changed. He sensed carefully and soon found the situation in the depths of the forest. It's an outsider. Jiaoju's face darkened. Then, he rushed into the depths of the forest. Fang Chen and Princess Huang looked at each other and followed. In the depths of the forest, in front of a mountain stream, an expert from the Devouring Demon clan was fighting fiercely with the Beast King. Roar. The Beast King was furious. Its body was too big, so its agility was greatly reduced and it couldn't move freely. This damned enemy took advantage of this weakness and kept attacking. As a result, in just a short while, many wounds appeared on the Beast King's body. Idiot, the origin world was created by our ancestor. The fact that you're able to survive on this land is our favor. How dare you attack us? Clearly, the devouring demons were very proud and believed that the origin world belonged to them. However, his strength wasn't too strong. He was only a 9th level saint. If it wasn't for his incredible speed, the Beast King would have torn him apart. Damn you, I'm going to kill you. The Beast King roared in anger. Hot flames spewed out of his nostrils. In an instant, the entire mountain was set ablaze. The sea of fire spread, intending to burn the Devouring Demons clan. Not good. The Devouring Demon clan member's expression changed drastically. He leaped up and split into countless illusions. His original body fled out of the forest. This idiot is too strong. The men of the Devouring Demon tribe thought to themselves as they fled. He had entered the core area to search for the Ghost Emperor's ghost artifact. Before that, he could not afford to make any mistakes. Otherwise, it was very likely that he would die. Bang! However, just as he was fleeing, there was a loud bang. He felt a powerful force coming from the front. It sent him flying and he crashed onto the ground. He was in so much pain that he stomped his feet. However, when he felt the scorching power behind him, he couldn't care less. He wanted to escape as fast as he could. Trying to escape, Jiaoju sent the devouring demons clan member flying with a palm strike. Then, Fang Chen blocked the devouring demons clan member's escape route from another direction. Seeing this, the devouring demons clan member gritted his teeth and burned his blood essence. He wanted to fight for his life. He charged towards Fang Chen as fast as lightning. Jiaoju shouted to warn Fang Chen. However, it was too late. The devouring demons clan member burned his blood essence. His aura and strength increased exponentially. Jiaoju was extremely worried about Fang Chen. Even Princess Huang was rushing towards Fang Chen. However, in the face of this sudden change, Fang Chen wasn't afraid at all. His lips curled into a terrifying smile as he waved the sky-crushing sword in his hand. Crack! When the devouring demons clan member reached him, he stopped in his tracks. In shock, he felt blood flowing out from his neck. He stretched out his hand and wanted to touch it, but he couldn't. His head had rolled to the ground and his headless body fell to the ground. Jiaoju was stunned. He didn't expect his clan member to be so powerful. Not bad, brother. You're much stronger than I thought. After being stunned for a while, Jiaoju walked up to Fang Chen and punched him on the shoulder with a smile. He thought that after the great sage's bloodline suffered the most serious injury in history, even if there was a new successor, he wouldn't be that strong. He didn't expect Fang Chen to kill the devouring demons clan member who burned his blood essence so easily. Jiaoju had a whole new level of respect for him. Roar. The deafening roar of a beast was heard. The three of them instantly felt the earth tremble and the mountains shake. Soon after, they discovered that the raging fire in front of the mountain stream had been extinguished. The forest returned to normal and a huge monster slowly walked over. Beast King, long time no see, Jiaoju greeted him. What are you doing here? The Beast King asked coldly. Jiaoju shrugged. Aren't you a little too cold? If it weren't for my brother, your enemy would have escaped. You should thank him. As he spoke, Jiaoju pulled Fang Chen over and smiled. The Beast King looked at Fang Chen and his expression softened. Indeed, although he was strong, that guy just now had a profound movement skill and was extremely fast. If Fang Chen and Jiaoju had not appeared, the enemy would have fled long ago. If there's nothing else, you can leave. The Beast King turned and asked them to leave. Jiaoju knew the Beast King well. Although he didn't say anything, he was grateful to Fang Chen. He thought of something and stopped the Beast King. Beast King, you're the descendant of a divine beast. Why are you so stingy? The Beast King stopped and glared at Jiaoju. You, come with me. The Beast King glanced at Fang Chen and walked back to the mountain stream. Fang Chen was confused. What was going on? Jiaoju nudged him and said, Brother, hurry up and follow him. This guy is a descendant of a divine beast. He has many good things. If you can get one, it will be of great help to your cultivation. Fang Chen finally understood that Jiaoju was trying to help him get some opportunities. Descendant of a divine beast. Fang Chen thought of his vermilion bird bloodline. He wondered which divine beast the Beast King was a descendant of. Rustle, rustle, rustle. Fang Chen followed the Beast King to the mountain stream. The Beast King stopped and looked at him seriously. You have the bloodline of a divine beast, vermilion bird. Chapter 3870. As expected. Fang Chen was startled. As a descendant of a divine beast, it should be very sensitive to the bloodline of a divine beast. As expected, it had sensed the aura of the vermilion bird bloodline in him. The Beast King sized up Fang Chen with his large eyes, making the latter feel a little uncomfortable. However, he knew very well that it was almost impossible for him to lie in front of a descendant of a divine beast. Therefore, he admitted it directly and honestly. That's right. By chance, I cultivated a secret skill related to the vermilion bird. I refined a trace of the vermilion bird's blood essence and derived the true vermilion bird bloodline. Fang Chen raised his head and looked at the Beast King. The vermilion bird secret technique had first appeared in the body of Huang Tian, the strongest of the younger generation of Flying Phoenix Manor. However, the latter had wanted to kill Fang Chen and had been killed in the end. Because of this, Fang Chen had been hunted down by the top experts of Flying Phoenix Manor. In the end, he had fled to the territory of Ghost Manor and had almost died at the hands of the Ghost Manor Lord. Whoosh. Thinking back to the past, Fang Chen sighed. Since coming to the origin world, that was the closest he had come to death. You're very good. The Beast King's large head shook and was full of praise for Fang Chen. A human cultivator who cultivated the vermilion bird secret technique and refined the blood essence of the vermilion bird could derive the true vermilion bird bloodline. And, most importantly, it was the same. The vermilion bird bloodline in his body was very pure and was very rare in the age of decline. Of course, the most important point was that the Beast King had sensed a powerful bloodline in Fang Chen's body through the vermilion bird bloodline. He had tried to approach and understand this powerful bloodline but had been forced back. He was shocked. His divine sense had long reached the edge of the Tao manifestation realm. In addition, he was a descendant of a divine beast and was born with a powerful primordial spirit. However, Fang Chen's bloodline had forced him back. One could imagine how powerful this bloodline was. A primordial bloodline? The Beast King muttered to himself. It shouldn't be. He and Jiaoju called each other brothers and had learned from Jiaoju that Fang Chen was a member of the Jialuo clan. He did have the aura of the Jialuo clan on him. However, suddenly, the Beast King came to a realization and looked at Fang Chen in disbelief. Could this be a mutation of the Jialuo bloodline? It had interacted with many members of the Jialuo race before, so it was familiar with their bloodline. It had never heard of Fang Chen's bloodline before. Combined with his identity, the Beast King believed that the bloodline that forced its primordial spirit to retreat was definitely a mutated version of the Jialuo race's bloodline. Senior Beast King. Fang Chen's voice interrupted the Beast King's thoughts. The Beast King returned to his senses and grinned at Fang Chen. He then said, "Since you possess the vermilion bird's bloodline, you can be considered as a descendant of the divine beasts. I'm staying here to protect my ancestors' oath." Fang Chen's heart skipped a beat. The oath to protect the ancestors? The ancestor it spoke of was undoubtedly an ancient mythological beast like the vermilion bird, but what kind of contract was it guarding? Could this be the opportunity Jiaoju was talking about? Whoosh! The Beast King waved its huge claw and the mountain stream suddenly changed. Fang Chen looked around and realized that he was in a vast grassland. He couldn't see the end of it and it was lush everywhere. At this moment, the Beast King spoke. "There are countless opportunities in this territory that I guard. Many members of the Jialuo race, including Jiaoju, have tried to obtain opportunities from me, but I drove them all away. You are the first person who has a chance to obtain an opportunity." Fang Chen was stunned. The Beast King continued, "Release the vermilion bird bloodline and sense it yourself. Feel whatever you feel. If you can't feel anything, then it means that you are not destined to be a descendant of the divine beasts. Then we will part ways here." With that, the Beast King disappeared. Only a dumbfounded Fang Chen was left standing on the lush grassland in a daze. After a while, he calmed down. According to the Beast King, there were many opportunities in this grassland and he needed to use the vermilion bird bloodline to sense them. Buzz! He released the vermilion bird bloodline and a trace of the vermilion bird's power surrounded his body. With his feet as the center, it quickly spread across the ground. The vermilion bird's power that was invisible to the naked eye spread across the entire grassland. Secretly, the Beast King nodded in satisfaction. The vermilion bird is known to have the strongest attack power among the divine beasts. With the density of his bloodline, he should be able to sense the black tortoise's power, right? Outside the mountain stream, Princess Huang looked worriedly in the direction where Fang Chen disappeared. Jiaoju, who was at the side, smiled and said, "Don't worry, my brother will be fine. There are many good things in that old fellow's territory. This time, he will definitely reap a bountiful harvest." Although Jiaoju looked happy, Princess Huang was still very worried. After all, that was a descendant of the divine beasts. If he wanted to kill Fang Chen, the latter would not be able to resist. My brother is not simple. Being able to gain the Beast King's approval is enough to prove everything. Jiuju said, I didn't expect that the divine beasts that were almost destroyed back then, after being dormant for countless years, would produce such a genius. Jiuju's eyes were blazing with a fiery look. If the divine beasts were to rise again, it would definitely be the best news for the Jialuo clan. On the lush grassland, Fang Chen closed his eyes, touching the grass and trees on the grassland with both hands. The vermilion bird's power had spread across the entire grassland, and he could clearly sense any movement on the grassland. But right now, he did not sense any abnormalities. The Beast King shouldn't lie to me. Fang Chen muttered to himself. He had the vermilion bird's bloodline and could be considered a descendant of the divine beasts. He had obtained the Beast King's approval and brought him here and told him to release the vermilion bird's bloodline. More than a month had passed, and he still had not found anything. Even the Beast King, who was secretly observing, felt a little regretful. Can't you feel it? He couldn't even sense the most basic opportunity. He shook his head slightly to express his regret. After all, Fang Chen had the vermilion bird's bloodline, but he couldn't sense the opportunity. He could only blame his bad luck. There was no point in keeping such a person. The Beast King was ready to appear and send Fang Chen away. But at this moment, the Beast King's foot suddenly stopped in its tracks. His gong-sized eyes stared at the lush grassland. At this moment, a fiery red light suddenly appeared on the grassland. Then, a fluorescent light appeared and enveloped the fiery red light. That's, the Beast King grinned. The power of the black tortoise. Fang Chen sensed the power of the black tortoise. The divine beast vermilion bird was known to have the strongest attack power, while the divine beast black tortoise was known to have the strongest defense. The two were enemies and friends, and they restrained each other. After a month without any results, Fang Chen condensed the fire of the vermilion bird, which led to the black tortoise shield. Chapter 3871. The Antiquity Age was the most glorious age. In that era, there were countless monstrous geniuses, as well as hundreds of flowers blooming from other races. There was even more than one divine beast. However, although there were many divine beasts, the best of them were the legendary 4 supreme divine beasts. They were the azure dragon, white tiger, vermilion bird, and black tortoise. Fang Chen had experienced a lot since he started cultivating in the ancient sword continent's Shungfeng nation. He had seen some clans called the White Tiger, Vermilion Bird, and other clans. However, they were not the true descendants of the divine beasts. The 4 supreme divine beasts were the strongest in the legends. At their peak, even the chaotic supremes had to be wary of them. However, they had all fallen for certain reasons. The vermilion bird was known as the ancestor of all flames. It could control all the flames in the world. At the same time, its attack power was also known as the strongest in the world. The black tortoise was known as the ancestor of defense. It was best at defense. Spear and shield were both friends and foes. Therefore, when Fang Chen used the vermilion bird bloodline to condense the vermilion bird fire, the force of the black tortoise finally became restless. Buzz. The Beast King, who was hiding in the dark, smiled delightedly when he saw the power of the black tortoise appear. Although Fang Chen had yet to find the true opportunity, the power of the black tortoise could also be considered an opportunity. If he can successfully absorb the force of the black tortoise, his defense power will greatly increase, the Beast King muttered to himself. On the lush grassland, Fang Chen closed his eyes and carefully sensed the force of the black tortoise in the air. A grey aura escaped from the force of the black tortoise and blocked the spread of the vermilion bird fire. As expected, Fang Chen could not help but laugh. The vermilion bird and the black tortoise repelled each other. Condense. Since he had sensed the black tortoise's power, Fang Chen naturally would not miss such a good opportunity. With a thought, he condensed even more vermilion bird's fire and instantly suppressed the black tortoise's power. Then, at a speed invisible to the naked eye, he absorbed the black tortoise's power into his body. Buzz. After the force of the black tortoise entered his body, it started to struggle and destroy his internal organs. However, the perfect bloodline instantly covered his entire body. What happened next left Fang Chen in a daze. The power of the black tortoise, which was originally violently struggling, actually calmed down the moment it came into contact with the perfect bloodline. It was as if the power of the black tortoise was afraid of the perfect bloodline. What happened? Fang Chen was astonished. Although the perfect bloodline was very powerful and could stand shoulder to shoulder with the Primeval bloodline, Fang Chen had never seen it before. But it shouldn't be enough to make the power of the black tortoise afraid, right? Could it be? Fang Chen realized that the perfect bloodline could easily penetrate the power of the black tortoise. He instantly understood. The force of the black tortoise was known to have the strongest defense, but the perfect bloodline was able to break through its defense. Naturally, the force of the black tortoise feared the perfect bloodline. Refine. Seizing the time, Fang Chen used his perfect bloodline to analyze the structure of the black tortoise's power. Then, he used the vermilion bird's flames to burn the black tortoise's power. Because Fang Chen had the bloodline of the ancient mythical beast, he had a lot of experience. In just half an hour, he had completely refined the force of the black tortoise. Buzz. With a thought, spots of grey light appeared on the surface of his skin. These grey lights vaguely connected together to form a powerful black tortoise armor. Not enough. Fang Chen pursed his lips. The force of the black tortoise was obviously not strong enough. He needed to continue absorbing it. Again. With this experience, the process of capturing and refining the black tortoise's force became a matter of course. Even the Beast King was stunned by this scene. The Beast King widened his eyes and stared at Fang Chen. When he saw the thick black tortoise armor on the surface of Fang Chen's skin, he immediately exclaimed, "How is this possible?" Even he would find it difficult to condense the black tortoise armor in such a short time. This guy actually did it. Fang Chen, who had condensed the black tortoise armor, was very happy. He felt that his defense had improved by a level. If I were to fight with someone now, an invincible sage would not be able to break through my defense, right? Fang Chen muttered to himself. Even if he were to face an ultimate sage, he was confident that he could fight with him. To put it simply, the moment Fang Chen condensed the black tortoise armor, he was already comparable to an ultimate sage. Phew. After recultivating for 2 lifetimes and going through many hardships, not only did he return to the peak, but he also went one step further and was comparable to an ultimate sage. At this time, Fang Chen's mood was inexplicably complicated. Boom boom boom. He tried to control the vermilion bird's fire to attack himself, but it was all blocked by the black tortoise armor. After a series of experiments, Fang Chen finally completely controlled the black tortoise armor. However, without the support of the black tortoise bloodline, the black tortoise armor was just a facade. This was a problem for Fang Chen. It was already very lucky to have the vermilion bird bloodline, but to have the bloodline of 2 ancient super-divine beasts at the same time? It was simply a dream. I wonder if there is the blood essence of the divine beast black tortoise here? Fang Chen muttered. If he could find the blood essence of the divine beast black tortoise, he might really be able to condense the black tortoise bloodline. The Beast King said that there are opportunities everywhere in this grassland. This is just an appetizer. I believe there are more opportunities waiting for me. Fang Chen collected his thoughts and looked ahead. The boundless grassland was lush, peaceful, and peaceful. Continue. Fang Chen continued to bury his head in the grassland, looking for opportunities. The Beast King, who was watching in the dark, exclaimed, "This guy." He finally knew why Jiaoju admired Fang Chen so much. Outside the Beast King's territory, Jiaoju crossed his legs and waited leisurely. Princess Huang's face was very solemn. Fang Chen had been in for a long time, but there was no news at all. She secretly sent a message to the latter, but there was no response. This made Princess Huang very anxious. "Sister-in-law, don't worry, my brother is probably looking for opportunities now." Jiaoju grinned. He still wanted to say something, but his face suddenly changed. He stood up and said in a deep voice, "Something big has happened in the clan, I need to go back first. Wait for my brother here. When you are done, go to the Jialuo clan's encampment to find me." After saying that, he disappeared without looking back. Looking at his disappearing figure, A hint of worry appeared between Princess Huang's brows. What happened? Princess Huang whispered. This was the core of the Death Cliff, and the Jialuo clan's encampment. Who dared to be presumptuous here? Almost all outsiders who came in would die, and they would not be able to affect the Jialuo clan at all. Her intuition told her that Jiaju's hurried return might be related to the Ghost Emperor's weapon, but Fang Chen had not come out yet, so she needed to wait patiently. I hope you are fine. Princess Huang looked at the depths of the Beast King's territory. Chapter 3872. On the lush grassland, Fang Chen had been searching seriously. If he did not have any clues before, now that he had condensed the Black Tortoise armor, it would be easier for him to find the Black Tortoise blood essence. If the Black Tortoise blood essence really existed on the grassland, then as long as he used the Black Tortoise armor and continued searching, he would definitely be able to find it. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. After an unknown period of time, the Black Tortoise armor that had been motionless all this time suddenly shook. This action attracted Fang Chen's attention. His pitch-black eyes stared at the Black Tortoise armor. His body moved slowly, trying to find the place that caused the Black Tortoise armor to move and lock onto it. He moved 3 meters to the left. The Black Tortoise armor was unusually calm. He shook his head slightly and eliminated the left direction. Then, he returned to the place where the Black Tortoise armor had moved and moved 3 meters to the right. The Black Tortoise armor was still calm. In this way, after dozens of attempts, he finally found the source of the Black Tortoise armor's shaking. Buzz. The Black Tortoise armor on Fang Chen's body was constantly changing, as if it would shatter at any time. Fang Chen's pitch-black eyes stared at the bottom of his feet. Beneath his feet was a lush patch of weeds. When he spread out the weeds, he was surprised to find that there was actually a crystal bead here. Crack! He stretched out his hand to touch the crystal bead, but he was shocked to discover that there was a strong seal around the crystal bead. Black Tortoise blood essence. A look of excitement appeared on Fang Chen's face. This crystal bead was no ordinary bead. It contained a drop of precious Black Tortoise blood essence. Fang Chen did not act rashly. He suppressed the excitement in his heart and began to seriously think about how to break the seal around the crystal bead. He once again tried to touch the seal with his palm and seriously sensed it. A moment later, he had a preliminary understanding of the internal structure of the seal. This is a very typical illusory seal. Fang Chen muttered to himself. Although he was best at Sword Dao, his attainments in Illusion Dao and Sealing Dao were also extremely high. The illusory seal was a very common type of seal that combined illusions and formations together to form a powerful seal. The greatest characteristic of the illusory seal was that its strength was comparable to that of formations, and its formlessness was similar to that of illusions. Normally, even if one knew that there was a seal here, it would still be very difficult to find it. If you can't even find the seal, how are you going to break it? However, Fang Chen was different. He was familiar with the illusory seal, so he was able to find the location of the illusory seal at a glance. Then, he began to dissect it from the inside. First of all, he had to separate the illusions from the formations. Then, once the illusion was destroyed, the remaining formation would be revealed. In his 2 lifetimes of cultivation, he had seen countless formations. To him, as long as it wasn't a formation set up by a Supreme Being expert, it wouldn't be difficult for him. Whoosh! He took a deep breath and looked deeply at the drop of blood in the crystal bead. Then, the stripping began. Outside the grassland, the Beast King was dumbfounded. Not only did this guy find the crystal bead, but he was also trying to break the seal. Can he break it? The Beast King muttered. He knew better than anyone how strong the seal around the crystal bead was. That was a seal that even an ultimate sage couldn't do anything about. This guy in front of him was actually trying to break it. The Beast King was silent and kept staring at Fang Chen. He wanted to see what this guy would do. In fact, for Fang Chen, the most difficult thing was to separate the illusions and formations. He spread out his hands and gently touched the illusory seal. Suddenly, he felt a terrifying force that seemed to want to bounce off his hands. However, he activated the power in his body and stabilized it. Next, he closed his eyes and began to peel it off. Hiss! He tried to let his consciousness gradually penetrate into the interior of the illusory seal. Using his familiarity with the structure of the illusory seal, he quickly destroyed the internal structure of the seal and made it peel off automatically. This process seemed simple, but it was actually very dangerous. The slightest carelessness would cause the illusory seal to self-destruct. At that time, even the Beast King couldn't take out the crystal bead. Obviously, Fang Chen didn't want the crystal bead to be destroyed. It contained the essence and blood of the divine beast Black Tortoise, which was very important to him. Whoosh! He tried hard to calm down the waves in his heart. His consciousness penetrated layer by layer. An hour later, his consciousness had completely penetrated the interior of the illusory seal. At this time, Fang Chen's forehead was full of sweat. He gritted his teeth and growled. Immediately, his powerful primordial spirit controlled his consciousness and instantly released a terrifying soul power. Crack! The internal structure of the illusory seal, almost without any room to react, was destroyed. The connection center is damaged. Fang Chen received a very important message. The connection center was damaged, which also meant that he was halfway to success. Continue. He took the opportunity to destroy the interior of the illusory seal. After a while, the internal structure of the illusory seal was completely destroyed. At this time, Fang Chen began to peel. An illusory aura was forcibly removed from the illusory seal, leaving an empty shell array. Whoosh! After the removal, he used his understanding of illusory techniques to easily penetrate the illusory aura and completely destroy it. The most important part of the illusory seal was the illusory technique. Now that the illusory aura was destroyed, the array left behind was of little significance to Fang Chen. Crack! Almost in the time it took for a spark to fly off a piece of flint, the formation shattered into pieces. Buzz! A grey aura was released from the crystal bead. Fang Chen quickly grabbed the crystal bead. Success! Glancing at the crystal bead in his palm, Fang Chen was secretly delighted. Rumble! At this time, a deafening roar came from the sky above the grassland. Then, the Beast King appeared out of thin air. Congratulations on getting the Black Tortoise essence and blood. It could be seen that there was a smile on the Beast King's face. From today onwards, you can enter and exit my territory at will. If you need anything, you can come to me directly. Thank you. Fang Chen clasped his fist. Well, you can refine the Black Tortoise essence, and as for whether you can condense the Black Tortoise bloodline, it will depend on your luck. After you finish refining, you can leave here. The Beast King said, something happened in the Jialuo clan and Jiaoju is in a hurry to return. Hearing this, Fang Chen's eyelids twitched and hurriedly asked about Princess Huang's situation. She's fine, waiting for you outside the territory. After chatting with the Beast King for a while, Fang Chen sat cross-legged on the grassland to save time and began to race against time to refine the Black Tortoise essence and blood. As for the Beast King, he stood by the side to protect him. Chapter 3873. After obtaining the Black Tortoise blood essence, Fang Chen began to refine it. In fact, refining the Black Tortoise blood essence was not difficult for him because he had refined the vermilion bird blood essence before and possessed a perfect bloodline comparable to a primordial bloodline. Combining all of the above factors, he only spent half a month to completely refine the Black Tortoise blood essence. After refining it, he began to use his perfect bloodline as a guide to condense the Black Tortoise blood essence. Time passed by little by little. It took a long time to condense the Black Tortoise blood essence. 100 years passed in a flash. The Beast King glanced at Fang Chen. A thick layer of light had appeared on his body, a sign of the Black Tortoise blood essence. The Beast King smiled. After 100 years, he had finally stepped into the threshold. Next, he would need a long time to settle down. He believed that Fang Chen would definitely be able to condense the Black Tortoise blood essence. While waiting for a long time, great changes were happening in the outside world. In the origin world, legends of the Demon Devourer Patriarch were circulating everywhere. Some said that the Demon Devourer Patriarch was only a step away from the Chaos Controller realm. Therefore, the 4 sacred lands issued an order to collect all the cultivation resources in the origin world. There was another saying that the Demon Devourer Patriarch suffered a chi deviation when trying to break through to the Chaos Controller realm. He was seriously injured and needed cultivation resources to heal. In short, there were different opinions. All the major manas were actively making preparations. Only the Ghost Mana did not make any moves. On this day, a small vortex appeared in the territory of the Ghost Mana. Immediately, the Ghost Mana Lord ordered a complete lockdown and no one was allowed to approach. His figure flashed and he jumped into the small vortex. In a flash of white light, the Ghost Mana Lord appeared in a gloomy and terrifying region. This place was completely different from the origin world, filled with dense death chi. The underworld. The Ghost Mana Lord's eyes shone with golden light. He had been searching for the underworld for a long time. Did he finally find some clues today? After calming down from his excitement, the Ghost Mana Lord found that this was not the real underworld, but the path to it. In other words, he could only enter the underworld through this path. He saw a flash of white light in front of him. He quickly rushed over. Suddenly, countless towering trees appeared around him. He was shocked to find that he had fallen into an illusion. How could this be? He ran desperately, but no matter what he did, he could not escape the illusion. Finally, when he was completely exhausted, he fell limply to the ground. Could it be that I was wrong? The Ghost Mana Lord muttered. However, right at that moment, something strange happened. An ancient and deep voice sounded from the illusory realm. The gate opens, the underworld appears. Appear. These words seemed to have existed since the beginning of time, drifting from the river of time and shaking the heart of the Ghost Mana Lord. The underworld. The Ghost Mana Lord shouted excitedly. Sure enough, he saw a door leading to the underworld. He entered without hesitation. Buzz. After he returned, the domain, the ghosts, the ghost. However. Only the Ghost Palace Master knew that he would definitely overturn this origin world once he returned from the underworld. Battlefield to the great Saturday. Chi Lord S. The time essence to the time as Huala. Suddenly, a wave appeared on the silent sea of misery. The great sovereign opened his eyes. His powerful divine sense covered the entire primal chaos realm, and he found that everything was normal. Then, he gently counted with his fingers and sighed, "Have we met?" When he sent Fang Chen into the origin world, he had already predicted that one day, Fang Chen would encounter the Jiao Luo race. He just hadn't thought that they would meet much earlier than he had expected. He didn't know if it was a blessing or a curse. Even that old guy can't hold back anymore. Great Senior said softly. The deployment and plans of the Chaos Realm for countless years were all closely related to Fang Chen. As long as he did not die, the plan could continue. Great Sovereign. The bloodline monarch came to the end of the path of reincarnation. He knelt down on one knee, clasped his fists, and said, "The crisis of the ancient chaos has been resolved. Our people are secretly protecting Fang Chen's family and friends. I will guard the border of the ancient chaos and forbid anyone from entering." The great sovereign nodded. Only when Fang Chen had nothing to worry about would he be able to complete his mission in the origin world with even greater efficiency. The reason he chose the bloodline monarch was because the top experts of the Chaos Realm had unanimously decided to let the bloodline monarch show the results of his research to Fang Chen. Moreover, the bloodline monarch was incomparably familiar with the ancient chaos. "Is there anything else?" Great Sovereign asked. The bloodline monarch thought for a moment, then asked, "Great Sovereign, how is Fang Chen right now?" "Ha." Great Sovereign smiled mysteriously. Fang Chen's actions in the origin world were top secret. Even the other members of the Chaos world couldn't know about it. "You will know in the future," Great Sovereign said. The bloodline monarch nodded, then returned to the border between the Godsfall battlefield and the ancient chaos to guard it. At the same time, the other ancient experts were constantly appearing in various parts of the Godsfall battlefield to maintain the balance of the battlefield and repair the gaps, preventing the demon devourers of the origin world from sneaking in through other gaps. In short, under the leadership of Great Sovereign, the entire Chaos Realm was almost as one. Occasionally, the demon devourers would come in. This was also done on purpose to train the experts of the Chaos Realm, allowing them to experience the baptism of death at the edge of life and death battles to break through. Needless to say, this method was very effective. Some experts who had been unable to enter the Saint Realm for a long time stepped into the five-element Saint Realm after fighting with the demon devourers. Fang Chen had been in the origin world for less than 1,000 years. In such a short time, the number of five-element Saint Realm experts in the Chaos Realm had increased by a lot. Of course, this was not enough. The ones who truly controlled the life and death of the two worlds were the legendary Chaos Supremes. Therefore, they could not let the demon devourers become a Chaos controller first. Otherwise, the Chaos Realm would perish. At this time, they had to think of a way to buy Fang Chen as much time as possible. With his rare potential, as long as he could step into the Chaos Supremes, he would certainly be able to contend with the demon devourers and might even become a Chaos controller directly. The future of the Chaos Realm was still in an abyss of suffering. They needed someone to be their savior. And Fang Chen. Without a doubt, he was the savior of all life. Chapter 3874. On the Grassland. Fang Chen sat cross-legged as a thick bloodline aura surrounded his body. If one were to carefully sense it, they would discover that the bloodline aura was extremely mixed. There was an extremely cold aura, and there was also an aura that was as hot as fire. Buzz. After an unknown amount of time, the Beast King suddenly opened his eyes. He looked at Fang Chen and gasped softly. He realized that the black tortoise armor on the surface of Fang Chen's skin was becoming more and more real. He was surprised to find that a trace of the black tortoise bloodline was condensed in Fang Chen's body. Did I succeed? The Beast King was a little excited. At this moment, Fang Chen also noticed this scene. He used the perfect bloodline to guide the trace of the black tortoise bloodline into the perfect bloodline. Boom! The vermilion bird bloodline and black tortoise bloodline rejected each other, but with the perfect bloodline, it gradually stabilized. Crash! Fang Chen opened his eyes and felt the black tortoise armor on his skin. A bright smile appeared on his face. Congratulations! The Beast King congratulated and at the same time, threw a scroll to Fang Chen and said, "This scroll records the secret technique of the Black Tortoise Shield. You can study it." The Black Tortoise Shield was a famous defensive technique of the Black Tortoise bloodline. Only people with the Black Tortoise bloodline could cultivate it. Fang Chen condensed the Black Tortoise bloodline and was qualified to cultivate it. "Thank you, Beast King." Fang Chen cupped his fists and thanked him. If it wasn't for the Beast King, he wouldn't have been able to obtain such a great opportunity. Possessing the bloodline of two ancient divine beasts at the same time made him even more confident in the evolution of the perfect bloodline. "All right, you have obtained the opportunity. It's time to leave," the Beast King said. Then, with a thought, he sent Fang Chen out of the territory. Outside the territory, Princess Huang was walking around anxiously. All of a sudden, "Princess Huang." Fang Chen's voice entered Princess Huang's ears. The latter's body trembled. She turned around and looked at Fang Chen with tears in her eyes. "Are you okay?" She tried her best to hold back the tears in her eyes. "I'm fine," Fang Chen said. "It's good that you're fine," Princess Huang murmured. After Fang Chen bid farewell to the Beast King, he brought Princess Huang and left this region. Before he left, the Beast King reminded him that the core area of the Death Cliff was very special. It was a world of its own. Maybe there would be a sleeping existence there. He told them not to wander around and to contact Jiaoju first. After leaving the Beast King's territory, Fang Chen asked about Jiaoju, but Princess Huang didn't know. "Where should we go now?" Princess Huang asked. The core area of the Death Cliff was much more complicated than they had imagined. Especially since the Jialuo clan was involved, they were extremely fearful. The Jialuo clan was known as one of the most powerful clans in the world. Most importantly, they controlled the 6 paths of reincarnation. They had established a base in the core area of the Death Cliff. This also meant that there was definitely a reincarnation road here. "Let's find out where the Ghost Emperor's ghost weapon is," Fang Chen muttered. This was their purpose in coming to the Death Cliff. "All right." Princess Huang nodded and the two of them walked side by side. Along the way, they met a few members of the Jialuo clan. But because Fang Chen had the reincarnation qi, he was recognized as a member of the Jialuo clan. Almost no one attacked him. However, there were still some outsiders who snuck in. Kill. One day, when he and Princess Huang were resting, he suddenly felt a terrifying killing intent approaching. Without any hesitation, he pulled out the Sky Destroyer sword. With a slash of the sword, it suppressed the heavens and earth and instantly injured the attacker. Ah! A miserable shriek came from the attacker's mouth. Following that, a figure fell to the ground. This person's legs were cut off by the Sky Destroyer sword and his cultivation was exhausted. He looked ferocious and shouted angrily, "You dare to attack me? My master will not let you off." "Who are you?" Princess Huang asked coldly. "You are all dead. My master will be here soon. None of you will be able to escape." This person fell into madness. Pucci. Princess Huang attacked and killed him. "Let's go." Fang Chen nodded and said. If they were elsewhere, they might not be afraid. But this was the residence of the Jialuo clan. They did not know who the master was and they did not want to get into trouble. Crash. Not long after Fang Chen and Princess Huang left, the group landed on the ground. The leader was wearing golden armor and had an imposing appearance. Behind him, there were some servants. One of the servants quickly walked to the person who had died here and checked. Then, he quickly ran back and reported, "Master, he has stopped breathing." Hearing this, the man in golden armor's face turned gloomy. "Who did it?" the man in golden armor asked. The servant shook his head. "The murderer is a sword cultivator. He did not give Archie any chance. He cut off Archie's legs with a sword and then killed Archie with a palm. From the sword chi, I can tell that this sword cultivator should be an expert of the invincible sage realm. Moreover, his attainments in the sword principle should be very high. He might have comprehended the ultimate sword principle." The servant emphasized the words ultimate sword principle. As expected, the man in golden armor's face changed slightly. Ultimate sword principle? He had been pursuing the ultimate sword principle for a long time. Now, one of his servants was killed by a sword cultivator who seemed to have comprehended the ultimate sword principle. This was interesting. According to the information we have, the major forces in the core area do not have such a sword cultivator. In other words, this sword cultivator is most likely a rogue cultivator. The servant continued. That palm contained a special aura. I suspect that this person is related to the primitive tribes. The man in golden armor's eyes flickered as he fell into deep thought. They had gathered countless information and researched countless methods. Finally, they decided to enter the core area of the Death Cliff. However, Archie was killed as soon as they entered. The person who killed him was a sword cultivator who had mastered the ultimate sword principle and was related to the primitive tribes. What was going on? Could it be that the primitive tribes can't sit still anymore? The servant shook his head. Not necessarily. That palm doesn't prove anything. Perhaps I sensed wrongly. The man in golden armor pondered for a moment before saying, "No matter what, Archie can't die in vain. We must find the murderer at all costs." The servant understood. Their master did not want to avenge Archie. Instead, he wanted the murderer's ultimate sword principle. This was the most precious experience. If he could comprehend it, he would definitely be able to comprehend an ultimate sword principle. "Master, don't worry. I will do it right away," the servant said. The man in golden armor raised his head. His pitch-black eyes looked into the distance as he said eerily, "Since I have come here, I will conquer this place. I will kill anyone who tries to stop me." Chapter 3875. Princess Fang Huang probably didn't know that the person they killed would bring a series of troubles to their future journey. Of course, this was a story for later. After Fang Chen killed that mysterious warrior, he was heading north. He naturally wouldn't foolishly head to the Jialuo clan's encampment. Jiaoju's cultivation realm was low and had mistaken him for someone else. However, there were many experts in the Jialuo clan. Once someone recognized his identity, it would bring danger to his life. "Where are we going now?" Princess Huang asked. They couldn't go to the Jaluor clan's encampment and had to carefully avoid the Jaluor clansmen. Then, how should they proceed? Let's find out the approximate location of the Ghost Emperor's ghost weapon. Fang Chen said. Wang. In the air, there was an imperceptible fluctuation. Fang Chen frowned slightly and looked around. He didn't discover anything. He didn't believe in heresy and released his powerful divine sense, covering a radius of 100 miles. However, he still didn't discover anything. What's wrong? Seeing Fang Chen acting like this, Princess Huang asked in surprise. Fang Chen shook his head and retracted his divine sense. He said, "Nothing, let's go." The two of them walked side by side. After a few steps, Fang Chen suddenly stopped. He closed his eyes and seriously felt the pulse of the earth. In order to comprehend the origin of Earth, he had once deeply felt the pulse of the earth and comprehended the origin of Earth in one fell swoop. Every movement of the earth couldn't escape his senses. Now, his feet felt the pulse of the earth. It seemed to be a little irregular. If it was before, he wouldn't have thought that there was anything abnormal. However, it was different now. Just now, he vaguely felt a special aura. When he released his divine sense, he didn't sense anything. At that time, he started to feel suspicious. It was just that he didn't have any evidence. Now, combined with the irregular pulse of the earth, he was even more certain that someone was approaching him. Could it be the master of that person I killed not long ago? Seeing Fang Chen's actions, Princess Huang also realized it. She carefully took precautions and was ready to attack at any time. Dong. Suddenly, Fang Chen stomped his feet and the ground instantly collapsed. Immediately after, an earthy yellow aura appeared around him. The power of the origin of Earth passed through his legs and instantly poured into the earth. Then, he used the pulse of the earth to force the mysterious person to show himself. Dong dong dong. The throbbing pulse of the earth stacked up layer by layer, growing stronger and stronger. In the blink of an eye, it had already stacked 512 layers. At this time, the pulse was already extremely chaotic. Crack. True enough. The person hiding in the shadows was unable to withstand the power of the 512th layer of the throbbing pulse of the world and was forced to reveal himself. Interesting. You can actually sense me approaching. The red-haired old man wore a black robe and held a wine gourd in his hand. His face was ferocious as he looked at Fang Chen and said coldly, "Well, so what if you found me? Aren't you still going to die in my hands?" Voila. As soon as he finished speaking, he immediately attacked. Boom. Boom. He opened the wine cork and countless wine droplets shot out from the wine gourd. These wine droplets contained unparalleled power and instantly shot towards Fang Chen. Kill. Fang Chen felt tremendous pressure and performed his ultimate sword technique without hesitation. Swoosh. With the heaven-destroying sword in his hand, Fang Chen seemed to have turned into a demon as he slashed out again and again. The power of the ultimate sword technique was displayed perfectly. When the sword light collided with the drops of wine, there was a loud sound. Even the red-haired old man could not help but take a few steps back. It is indeed the ultimate sword technique. Master was right. He licked his dry lips and said eerily, "Kid, surrender obediently and I can spare your life. I can even give you a chance to be loyal to my master." Fang Chen frowned. This person actually recognized his ultimate sword technique and even mentioned his master. He must be in cahoots with the person he had killed earlier. "My master is the strongest existence in the world. It is your honor to be loyal to him." Seeing that Fang Chen was silent, the red-haired old man sneered, "If not for the fact that you have the ultimate sword technique, the fact that you killed Chi is enough to implicate 9 generations of your family. Seeing that you are a genius, my master will spare your life. I hope you don't make a mistake." The red-haired old man was filled with boundless power and he was suppressing others with his aura. The strongest existence in the world. How arrogant. Fang Chen looked at him in disdain. Is he as strong as the demon-devouring clan leader? Is he as strong as those ancient supremes? You, the red-haired old man glared at Fang Chen. The people he was referring to were all peak utmost exalted level existences. Although his master was a genius, he had yet to step into the utmost exalted level. How could he possibly be comparable to those big shots? My master will step into the Supremes sooner or later. Once he does, he will definitely be comparable to the demon-devouring clan leader and stand at the peak of the world. The red-haired old man said confidently. His master was born to reach the peak of the martial way. Fang Chen shook his head. He was thinking about how to deal with the red-haired old man. At the same time, he was secretly communicating with Princess Huang. We can't delay any longer. Otherwise, when his master arrives, it will be difficult for us to escape. Princess Huang was slightly anxious. After all, this was the core of the Death Cliff and it was isolated from the outside world. Old thing, you are really arrogant. Fang Chen sneered. The person he was talking about had not even comprehended the ultimate sword technique. How dare he boast that he was the strongest existence in the world? What a joke. However, the red-haired old man was a little difficult to deal with. Do you know about the Jialuo clan? Fang Chen suddenly asked. Jialuo clan? The red-haired old man was stunned. He then said, of course I know. It is a special clan that is as famous as the primitive clans. Since you know, then do you know that I am also a member of the Jialuo clan? Fang Chen grinned. How dare you provoke the Jialuo clan? You are courting death. While the red-haired old man was still in shock, Fang Chen decisively attacked. He slashed out with the Heaven Stance sword technique and pushed his ultimate sword technique to the extreme. The sword slashed across the sky and sent the red-haired old man flying. At the same time, he brought Princess Huang and disappeared like a wisp of smoke. Boom! 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 The red-haired old man was furious. He smashed a mountain with a punch. Damn you! How dare you sneak attack me? I will tear you into pieces. His figure flashed and he began to chase after Fang Chen. At the same time, he passed the news to the golden-armored man. Jialuo clan? The golden-armored man was silent for a long time after receiving the news. The Jialuo clan does have a base in the core of the Death Cliff. Not many people know about this. Since that person knows about it, even if he is not from the Jialuo clan, he must be related to them. Then, the servant was a little worried. The Jialuo clan was a huge clan. They could not afford to offend them. The dead will not reveal secrets. The golden-armored man played with the small knife in his hand and said eerily. Chapter 3876. At the end of the desert, an old man was fishing. Seeing this strange scene, Fang Chen and Princess Huang were both surprised. This was a desert. Within a radius of 10,000 miles, not a single drop of water could be seen. They were very curious. Why was this old man fishing here? They saw. The old man was wearing a grey robe and was sitting cross-legged on a piece of green rock. He was holding a 1-meter-long bamboo pole in his hand. At the other end of the bamboo pole, there was a silk thread. At the end of the silk thread, there was a fishing hook. This was a fishing rod. When the clouds rise, sit and look at the east. The old man muttered such words. After that, a smile appeared on his withered face. It was as though he already knew that Fang Chen and Princess Huang had arrived. It's a pleasure to have friends from afar. As he spoke, the old man flicked his wrist and the fishing rod was lifted. A golden fish suddenly appeared in the desert. It bit the hook and was pulled back by the old man. That is, Fang Chen's heart trembled. If he didn't see wrongly, that golden fish was condensed from ultimate force. This kind of fish was definitely not an ordinary fish. It actually took the initiative to bite the hook. What was the identity of this old man? The old man held the golden fish and turned his head to look at Fang Chen and Princess Huang. He said, "Since the two of you are here, why don't you have a taste of this old man's fish?" Swoosh. The old man flicked his sleeve. Instantly, the golden fish floated in mid-air. He formed seals with both hands. A terrifying force penetrated the golden fish. As time passed, the energy in the golden fish became purer. In the end, the energy of the golden fish was directly compressed into the purest form of energy. This kind of energy was a great supplement for a martial artist's cultivation. This, Fang Chen was shocked. To be able to compress the ultimate force into such a pure state with just a raise of his hand and let ordinary people absorb and refine it. One could imagine how strong this old man was. He felt a headache coming. He had just escaped the pursuit of the mysterious expert servant. Why did he encounter another monster not long after? Just what kind of strange place was the core of the death cliff? Try it. The old man threw the golden fish out. Fang Chen subconsciously reached out to catch it, but he was shocked to find that the golden fish flew past him. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't touch the golden fish. Wang. The golden fish accurately landed in Princess Huang's fair palm. A look of astonishment appeared on the latter's beautiful face. However, before she could say anything, the old man said, "Quickly eat it." Fang Chen also sent a sound transmission to Princess Huang, saying that this golden fish would be of great help to her cultivation. Princess Huang no longer hesitated and swallowed the golden fish in one gulp. "This way, please." The old man waved his sleeve, and 3 stone benches and a stone table appeared in the desert. He took the lead and sat down on the stone bench, making an inviting gesture. Fang Chen and Princess Huang looked at each other and sat down. "Thank you, Senior." Princess Huang expressed her thanks. In just a few seconds, she could feel the strength in her body rising. Moreover, her comprehension of the 5 elemental origins had also greatly increased. The most important thing was, she could clearly sense the trajectory of the ultimate power. For a powerhouse at the peak of the Saint Realm like them, this was more important than any treasure of heaven and earth. "May I ask Senior's name?" Fang Chen asked. The old man shook his head and smiled. "This old man's name is not worth mentioning. Just call me Fisherman." Fang Chen seriously thought about it in his mind, but he couldn't think of such a person as Fisherman. Princess Huang also shook her head gently. She had never heard of such a person. "Senior Fisherman, are you also an ultimate cultivator?" The so-called ultimate cultivator, in Fang Chen's understanding, was a cultivator who had comprehended the ultimate path. The fisherman shook his head. "I have indeed comprehended the ultimate path, but I am not an ultimate cultivator." Fang Chen was puzzled. The fisherman explained, "Do you know why I didn't give you the golden fish I just caught, but gave it to this lady? Is it because I have comprehended the ultimate path?" Fang Chen asked. The fisherman explained, "You should have seen the essence of the golden fish, and the reason I didn't give it to you is that you are not suitable. You are at the beginning of the ultimate path. If I give you the golden fish and let you refine and absorb it, the ultimate power of the golden fish will subtly affect your cultivation and comprehension. In this way, it is equivalent to harming you." Fang Chen understood. It turned out that the fisherman was afraid that the ultimate power of the golden fish would destroy the ecological balance of the ultimate power in his body. "Senior Fisherman, why are you fishing here?" Fang Chen continued to ask. This was clearly a desert. He had carefully examined it. Under the soil, there was no aura of the ultimate power at all. The fisherman put away the fishing rod and said with a smile, "How much do you know about the Saint Realm?" The two looked at each other. After the Yin-Yang origin realm was the 5 elements Saint Realm. The symbol of stepping into the Saint Realm was to comprehend the 5 elements origin. The 5 elements were the foundation of heaven and earth. Fang Chen had comprehended all 5 elements origin. The Saint Realm was divided into 9 levels. The first 3 levels were the Saint King Realm, the middle 3 levels were the Saint Emperor Realm, and the last 3 levels were the Saint Realm. After the 9th level saint was the invincible saint, and then the ultimate saint. This was the conventional cultivation system. "Then, what level do you think I am at?" the fisherman continued to ask. Fang Chen pondered for a moment before he said, "Although I can't sense Senior Fisherman's aura, the technique you used to compress ultimate energy earlier is enough to prove that you've already surpassed the saint stage. You're at least a half-step chaotic supreme stage expert." The half-step chaotic supreme was a small realm between the saint realm and the chaotic realm. People in this realm had touched the threshold of the supreme, and there was a huge gap between them and the saint realm. The fisherman shook his head. "I am an 11th level saint." "What?" Fang Chen and Princess Huang exclaimed at the same time. There were 9 levels in the saint realm. How could there be an 11th level saint? "Please enlighten me, Senior Fisherman," Fang Chen said. In fact, The invincible saint and the ultimate saint you mentioned are the cultivation system of the Age of Chaos. In the most ancient era, there was the most complete cultivation system, and it was called the 13th level saint realm. Step by step, only by stepping through the 13th level saint realm could one become a supreme. 13th level? The core of the Death Cliff is a world of its own. The Jaluor clan is stationed here to guard the reincarnation cycle. This world retains the power of the heavenly path from the ancient era. In the outside world, no matter how talented you are, you can't step into the 10th level. But here, the 13th level is not a fantasy, the fisherman said. Speaking of the invincible saints and the ultimate saints of the outside world, a look of disdain appeared on his face. In the most ancient era, the so-called invincible saints and the ultimate saints of the outside world were not even worth mentioning. Sigh, the world has changed, and all of this is because of the devouring demon clan. The clan leader of the devouring demon clan had forcibly defied the heavens and extracted the fate of the chaotic realm to establish the origin realm, destroying the balance of the 6 paths of reincarnation. Chapter 3877. The fisherman was very mysterious. At least in Fang Chen's opinion, he should be an extremely ancient existence. It was even possible that he had existed since the birth of the chaotic world. However, Fang Chen was very curious about one thing. Why would an expert like the fisherman appear in the core of the Cliff of Death, and why would he appear here? And he had never heard of the fisherman's name, nor had Princess Phoenix. In the entire course of history, there seemed to be no such expert. Fang Chen's heart was full of doubts and at the same time, he was very shocked. The current cultivation system was actually incomplete, and the complete cultivation system of the most ancient era was actually the 13th level saint realm. This was something he had never heard of. It was an unprecedented shock. The so-called invincible saints and ultimate saints in the outside world were all 9th level saint realm. Although their combat strength was far beyond the ordinary 9th level saint realm, they were not qualified to step into the 10th level. Fang Chen was a little absent-minded. In his previous life, he had cultivated to the invincible saint realm. In this life, not only did he return to the peak, but he even touched the threshold of the ultimate saint realm. He did not expect that he would still be unable to cross the 10th level saint realm. 13th level saint realm. When the fisherman spoke of this, his expression became confused. His eyes were a little empty, and his expression was a little painful. There was also some struggle, as if he had fallen into a deep memory. From his withered cheeks, one could see the traces left by time and the vicissitudes of history. This further confirmed Fang Chen's guess about the fisherman. He was definitely an old monster who had survived from the most ancient era until now. Senior. Fang Chen called out softly, and the fisherman recovered from the painful memory. He looked deeply at Fang Chen and said in a low voice, "That era was too crazy and too dark. It's better not to mention it." He shook his head hard as if trying to forget the unpleasant things. "You are a warrior from the Age of Chaos. It's normal that you don't know about the 13th level saint realm. Even in the devouring demon clan, Jaluor clan, and primitive clans, not many people know about the 13th level saint realm," the fisherman said. These 3 clans were the top superclans in the chaotic world. Only the leaders who stood at the top would know about the existence of the 13th level saint realm. "Do you know why I'm fishing here?" the fisherman asked. Fang Chen and Princess Huang shook their heads. The fisherman spoke, "I've survived from the most ancient era, but I'm not like what you guys have imagined. The current me, more accurately speaking, should be a strand of remnant will left behind here." Furthermore, he had learned from the fisherman that the reason he was able to retain a wisp of his consciousness was because of the Jaluor clan. The Jaluor race controls the 6 paths of reincarnation. They are the most special and mysterious race in the Chaos realm. Back in the day, many Chaos sovereigns in the Chaos realm were closely related to the Jaluor race. The fisherman continued, "This tribe rarely comes out into the world, but every time they do, it's a time of great upheaval in the world. I'm fishing here because I'm waiting for the fated one." A fated person? What was a fated person? Fang Chen was stunned. Could it be that he was the fated person mentioned by the fisherman? In order to avoid being hunted down by that mysterious force, he had fled in a panic. By chance, he had encountered a fisherman who was fishing. For so many years, I've fished here and met many cultivators. However, their potential was too mediocre and they couldn't reach the 13th level of the Saint Realm. But you're different. When I first saw you, I knew that you were the person I've been looking for countless years. How powerful was the fisherman? With just a strand of remnant will, he could fish up the golden fish from underground and compress the ultimate force. Few people in the world could match up to him. Me. Fang Chen pointed to himself. Princess Huang also had a look of curiosity on her face. The fisherman nodded. You have the bloodlines of 2 ancient divine beasts and a bunch of extremely special bloodlines. If I'm not wrong, this bloodline should be something those little guys in the Chaos Realm came up with to deal with the devouring demon clan, right? Fang Chen was stunned. A Chaos Sovereign was actually called a little guy by the fisherman. If this news were to spread out, it would definitely cause a commotion. I chose you for 3 reasons. The fisherman stretched out 3 fingers. The first reason was that Fang Chen had the perfect bloodline and 2 ancient divine beasts' bloodlines. Especially the perfect bloodline, it could devour other bloodlines and evolve continuously. When it evolved to the extreme, it could suppress all other bloodlines in the world. The second reason was that Fang Chen had comprehended the ultimate sword Dao and possessed the ultimate force. The third reason was that Fang Chen was a kind and righteous person. Of course. The second reason was the most important one. If a cultivator wanted to reach the 13th level of the Saint Realm, they had to possess the ultimate force. This was also the reason why no one had ever stepped into the 13th level of the Saint Realm during the Age of Chaos. They couldn't even comprehend the ultimate sword Dao. The heavenly Dao was flawed and didn't allow such a cultivator to appear. Your current realm should be the 9th level of the Saint Realm. Stepping into the 10th level of the Saint Realm is a hurdle. You need to continue to condense the ultimate force. The fisherman pointed at Fang Chen's abdomen. When the amount of ultimate force in your body reaches 10 strands, you will be qualified to break through to the 10th level of the Saint Realm. Fang Chen checked his body and found that there was only 1 strand of ultimate force in his body. Moreover, it was faintly discernible, as if it could dissipate at any time. 10 strands. Fang Chen curled his lips. Condensing 1 strand of ultimate force was already difficult. How long would it take to condense 10 strands? I have a scroll here. It's a secret technique for condensing ultimate force. Take a look. The fisherman flicked his finger and a ray of light fell in front of Fang Chen, turning into a scroll. Fang Chen slowly unfolded the scroll. 4 bold and powerful words appeared in front of his eyes. Pulse condensation technique. Treat the ultimate force as your meridians, then completely integrate it into your body, becoming a part of your body. Then, condense it. You will discover that the mysteries of your body are far more than you can imagine. The fisherman explained. So, this was the origin of the name pulse condensation technique. At the same time, the fisherman also told Fang Chen that the human body hid countless mysteries. If one wanted to step into the forbidden realm, they must constantly tap into their body's potential. Only by fully comprehending the mysteries of the body could they reach a higher realm. In the most ancient times, the mysteries of the body were highly valued by cultivators, but as time passed, the martial path gradually declined. These once core cultivation systems have long been forgotten by the world. The fisherman muttered to himself, looking a little lonely. Many thanks, senior. Fang Chen put away the scroll and cupped his fists at the fisherman, bowing deeply to express his gratitude. The fisherman's words gave him a new understanding of the martial path, and also a new plan. According to the fisherman, there was only one path to enter the primal chaos realm, and that was the 13th level of the Saint Realm. Chapter 3878. The fisherman thought highly of Fang Chen. At least in his opinion, Fang Chen was the one with the greatest potential. He was also the one with the greatest hope of reaching 13th level Sage Realm. Therefore, he passed the pulse condensation technique to Fang Chen. Alright, I have said what I need to say. You will have to figure out the next path by yourself. As his voice fell, the fisherman's body gradually faded and finally disappeared. Boom. Under the ground, violent forces shot up to the sky. Yellow sand filled the sky and turned into violent beasts that surrounded Fang Chen and Princess Huang. Oh no, without senior fisherman's suppression, the forces under the ground are starting to wreak havoc. Fang Chen exclaimed. He took out the Sky Destroyer sword and slashed out again and again. Rumble. A deafening sound reverberated through the sky. Every time a violent beast came close, it would be killed by the Sky Destroyer sword. Princess Huang also used the ancient tribe's unique skill, Dukang Violent Beast. Time passed by slowly. As the battle with the rampage behemoths deepened, Fang Chen discovered that these rampage behemoths actually carried ultimate power. Fang Chen's eyes turned and a bold idea appeared in his mind. Boom. He killed the violent beasts with one slash and his other hand touched the body of the violent beasts at lightning speed. He absorbed the ultimate power in their bodies crazily. In the beginning, he was rejected by the ultimate power in the violent beasts' bodies. However, as time passed, Fang Chen gradually grasped the technique and could absorb it easily. One by one, the violent beasts died under Fang Chen's sword. The ultimate power he absorbed was also increasing. Just like that, the battle continued for half a month. Fang Chen finally condensed his second ultimate power. Boom. The moment he condensed his second ultimate power, the sky changed color. With him as the center, the violent beasts within a 100-mile radius were defeated instantly. The aura of the ultimate power emitted from his body suppressed the heavens and the earth. Princess Huang's delicate body trembled slightly as she felt a great pressure. Fortunately, Fang Chen restrained his aura in time. Otherwise, Princess Huang couldn't stand it. Congratulations. Princess Huang said softly. The more time she spent with Fang Chen, the more she realized that the former's potential was too monstrous. Senior fisherman gave him the pulse condensation technique. However, in just half a month's time, he condensed his second ultimate power. To the martial artists in the outside world, this was simply flying speed. However, Fang Chen wasn't satisfied. It's a pity that after condensing my second ultimate power, the aura of the ultimate power in my body, it directly crushed the violent beasts. Fang Chen curled his lips. Otherwise, he could have absorbed more of the rampage behemoth's ultimate power. He raised his eyes and looked into the distance. The desert had already returned to normal, and there was no longer any ultimate power underground. The fisherman had completely disappeared from the heavens and the earth. I will never forget senior fisherman's kindness. Fang Chen cupped his fists and said. In a region tens of thousands of miles away from the desert, a middle-aged man walked out of a ruin. There were many wounds on his body, but he finally escaped. So dangerous. This man was the mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion. He was a genuine extreme saint. He had been trapped in the core of the Death Cliff for millions of years and couldn't leave. Although this place was very dangerous, he was still struggling at death's door. Just as he was thinking, he suddenly felt the aura of ultimate power. Ultimate power? This was the aura that he had been dreaming of. Following the aura of the ultimate power, he quickly ran. No matter what, he had to fight for this opportunity. If I can comprehend the ultimate Tao, I will definitely be able to touch the threshold of the Supreme Realm. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he crossed tens of thousands of miles and came to the desert. His senses were clearer. There was a thin ultimate power in the air. It seemed like there was a great secret hidden here. There's someone here. The mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion's eyes twitched. He noticed Fang Chen and Princess Huang on the hill. At the same time, he also sensed the ultimate power that had not dissipated from Fang Chen's body for a long time. The mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion forcefully suppressed the killing intent in his heart. He walked in front of Fang Chen and asked with a smile, "Little brother, you came here first. Did you discover anything?" Fang Chen shook his head. "I didn't discover anything." "Oh, is that so?" The mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion was filled with killing intent. He said coldly, "But I sensed the ultimate power in your body. There's also the ultimate power in the desert. How do you explain that?" Fang Chen remained silent and looked at the mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion. Boom. The heaven-severing mansion's master emitted a powerful oppressive might. He was using his power to oppress Fang Chen. Obediently hand over everything you've obtained. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. You're from the devouring demon clan? Fang Chen suddenly asked. That's right. I'm the mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion. If you know what's good for you, you'll. Before the mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion could finish his sentence, Fang Chen attacked. With the sky-crushing sword in his hand, he performed the ultimate sword skill. The ultimate power surged and the two ultimate powers that had gathered in his body instantly exploded. Boom boom boom. When the mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion saw this, he turned pale with fright. You're actually an ultimate cultivator? Martial artists who had comprehended the ultimate path were collectively known as ultimate cultivators. Such people were rare even in the four great saint lands. However, the mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion could sense that Fang Chen's cultivation level was not high. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Anyone who encountered such a situation would not let it go. Die. The mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion's body flashed as he performed the Heaven Ju Shadowless skill. His body kept changing. In the blink of an eye, there were tens of thousands of illusions that appeared in the desert. No one could tell which one was the real mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion. Each of the illusions was speaking, disrupting Fang Chen's thoughts and attacking him at the same time. Brat, you're unlucky to have met me, the mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion. The mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion said eerily. He continued to control the tens of thousands of illusions to surround and attack Fang Chen. Let me help you. Princess Huang was a little worried. She quickly attacked and her body shone with a golden light. Huh! The mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion was shocked. You're from the Flying Phoenix Mansion? No, Princess Huang said coldly. The moment she found out about her identity, she no longer had anything to do with the Flying Phoenix Mansion. Moreover, she knew very well that the reason the Flying Phoenix Mansion's mansion master had announced to the public that she was his daughter was to rope in her master. Since you're not going to die, then die. If she was from the Flying Phoenix Mansion, the mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion might have thought about it. However, since she had said that she was not, the mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion would not show mercy. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. The mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion performed the mansion master of Heaven Ju Mansion perfectly. He shuttled through the tens of thousands of illusions and used the illusions. Chapter 3879. Crack. The sky-crushing sword cut across the sky and appeared in front of the master of Ju Tian Mansion in a strange trajectory. The extremely sharp sword Qi instantly pierced through the master of Ju Tian Mansion. However, in the next instant, Fang Chen realized that it was an illusion. After being pierced by the sky-crushing sword, the illusion gradually dissipated. The other illusions took the opportunity to launch a violent attack. Countless illusions surrounded Fang Chen. Fang Chen was stunned. His primordial spirit was close to the path manifestation realm. Logically speaking, any illusory skill was not worth mentioning in front of him. He swung his sword confidently, thinking that he would be able to pierce the master of Ju Tian Mansion. However, the scene in front of him made him a little stunned. After being stunned for a while, Fang Chen's face gradually turned solemn. The master of Ju Tian Mansion was much more powerful than he had imagined. His Ju Tian Phantom skill was not an ordinary illusory skill. Interesting. The corners of Fang Chen's mouth curled up, revealing a sinister smile. Then, he leaped up and unleashed his body motion to the extreme. His speed soared, and in the blink of an eye, he rushed into the tens of thousands of illusions. At the same time, the sky-crushing sword in his hand carried an indestructible sword Qi and continuously attacked the surrounding illusions. Every illusion dissipated the moment they came into contact with the sky-crushing sword. Although there were tens of thousands of illusions, the master of Ju Tian Mansion could not do anything to Fang Chen in a short period of time. Not to mention, there was also Princess Huang, who was eyeing him covetously. Although Princess Huang's strength was far from Fang Chen's, she was a descendant of the primitive tribe after all. The primitive tribe's bloodline was hidden in her body. Moreover, she had been taught by the primitive tribe since she was young, so she possessed some of the primitive tribe's special abilities. At the crucial moment, she could deliver a fatal blow. However, at this moment, the master of Jutian Mansion thought that he had the absolute upper hand. A maniacal smile appeared on his ferocious face. He laughed sinisterly and kept swinging his palms. Palm prints after palm prints overlapped each other and shook the sky. "Die for me!" Mansion Master Jutian shouted angrily and launched an all-out attack. Amidst the thousands of phantoms, his real body moved quickly. With the help of the phantoms, his real body could do almost anything he wanted. He kept shuttling through the void. At the same time, he kicked out with his feet. The surrounding void distorted as if it would collapse at any time. "Be careful." Seeing this, Princess Huang reminded loudly. When the true body of the heaven-severing mansion's mansion master traveled through the void and connected the over 10,000 phantoms, the entire sky became abnormally heavy. Black clouds covered the sky, lightning dragons flickered, and thunder rumbled. It was as if a demon had been born. That scene frightened Princess Huang. She saw that Fang Chen had fallen into the tens of thousands of phantoms, and she was a little confused. She gritted her teeth and took out a command medallion from her bosom. Then, she bit her finger and dripped a drop of blood on it. Immediately, the command medallion emitted a powerful light. She flung it forcefully, and the command medallion shot out at high speed. It arrived beside Fang Chen and condensed a layer of light, helping Fang Chen block the attack of the heaven-extinguishing mansion's mansion master. "Are you okay?" Princess Huang asked. Fang Chen regained his senses and turned his head to look at Princess Huang. He smiled at her and entered his battle state. Ultimate Sword Dao. Fang Chen, who was in his battle state, released his primordial spirit to its fullest extent. His terrifying divine consciousness shrouded heaven and earth, and the thousands of phantoms were unable to move as if they had fallen into a quagmire. At the same time, he displayed his ultimate sword Dao. Mighty ultimate sword Qi gushed out continuously, and the two ultimate forces that were condensed in his body vibrated rapidly. He held the Sky Destroyer sword in his hand, and his figure was tall and straight. He stood on the ground like a demon god. At this time, Fang Chen's combat strength had soared to the extreme. If a fisherman was here, he would be shocked. This was because Fang Chen had reached the peak of the 9th Order True Saint realm and was infinitely close to the 10th Order True Saint realm. In the face of such a powerful Fang Chen, the Heaven-Severing Mansion's Mansion Master's illusory technique was child's play. Kill. The Heaven-Severing Mansion Master controlled the thousands of phantoms and launched his most ferocious attack. However, the ridiculous thing was that the phantoms were crushed by Fang Chen's powerful Soul Dao. Crash. Violent energy shook the sky. All the phantoms in the quagmire shattered, and the Heaven-Severing Mansion Master's true body was revealed in front of Fang Chen. "You. What's going on?" Obviously, the Heaven-Severing Mansion Master was stunned. He clearly had the upper hand, so why did he suddenly fall into a disadvantageous position? Moreover, he felt that the current Fang Chen was too terrifying. He didn't even dare to look at him in the eye. Could he be the reincarnation of an almighty? A trace of fear appeared in the Heaven-Severing Mansion Master's heart. He even wanted to run away. Unfortunately, Fang Chen didn't give him the chance to do so. The Heaven-Severing sword slashed down. The Heaven-Severing Mansion Master tried his best to block it, but he couldn't stop the enraged Fang Chen. With a crack, his hands were cut off by the Heaven-Severing sword. Blood spurted out as the Heaven-Severing Mansion Master screamed in pain. His body fell into the desert. No, impossible. The Heaven-Severing Mansion Master quickly got up from the desert. His pitch-black eyes were filled with fear. He asked in a hoarse voice, "Who are you?" The other party's cultivation level was clearly lower than his. Why was his combat power so strong? Moreover, the other party's control of ultimate power had reached an unbelievable level. Most importantly, the sword in his hand was too sharp. It was far more powerful than a holy item. "Is it important?" Fang Chen said softly. Yes, was it important? The demon-devouring clan and the chaotic world were natural enemies. It was either you die or I die. Therefore, Fang Chen wouldn't be merciful when facing the demon-devouring clan. He only had one goal, and that was to kill all of them. Because of them, many people in the chaotic world had been separated from their families. The heaven-severing mansion master didn't even think about it. He turned around and tried to escape. However, Fang Chen slashed out with his sword. Suddenly, a vast sword radiance shot towards the heaven-severing mansion master. The heaven-severing mansion master roared angrily. Immediately, a thick black aura appeared above his head. This was a monstrous demonic chi. You forced me to do this. The heaven-severing mansion master's face was hideous as he roared angrily. He had used the demon-devouring clan's forbidden cultivation skill. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to use such a forbidden cultivation skill. Once it was used, even if one didn't die, he would become a cripple. However, the heaven-severing mansion master had no other choice. Roar, roar, roar. He had used the demon-devouring clan's gifted superpower. Under his control, the monstrous demonic chi turned into a huge wave. It was as though it was going to sweep up the entire space. Fang Chen held the sky-crushing sword in his hand and licked his dry lips. Is this a gifted superpower? The demon-devouring clan didn't dare to use a gifted superpower and a forbidden cultivation skill together. A long time ago, there was a legend in the demon-devouring clan. If the gifted superpower and a forbidden cultivation skill were used together, it would destroy the world. Chapter 3880. After all, the master of Jutian Mansion was a member of the devouring demon tribe. Moreover, he was a mansion master appointed by the 4 main branches. His strength could not be measured by his cultivation level. At that moment, the master of Jutian Mansion was forced into a corner by Fang Chen. He became crazier than ever. When he displayed the devouring demon tribe's innate superpower, he also displayed a forbidden cultivation skill. The two combined into one and his strength increased tremendously. Boom! The master of Jutian Mansion dodged the attack and the void twisted. A terrifying light blade shot out and swept across the entire area. When Fang Chen saw the attack, his expression changed. His body flickered and he activated his perfect bloodline to block the attack. Be careful. Princess Huang also realized the situation that Fang Chen was in. Her robe fluttered and she took out the token that her master had given her. She bit her finger and dripped her blood on the token. Suddenly, the token gave off a scorching light and enveloped Fang Chen, forming a defensive halo. Dong! 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 A deafening sound reverberated in the sky. The master of Jutian Mansion's wild attack whizzed through the air and hit the defensive halo, causing the ground to shake. Fang Chen's body sank into the ground involuntarily. He gritted his teeth and the sky-crushing sword in his hand cut across the sky. He displayed the ultimate sword art again. With his current strength, it was more than enough to deal with the master of Jutian Mansion in his normal state. However, the master of Jutian Mansion was in a berserk state and his strength had increased tremendously. He had to avoid the attack. Let's go! Fang Chen shouted. His body flickered continuously as he avoided the master of Jutian Mansion's attacks. He knew that there must be a time limit for such a strong increase in strength. Moreover, the increase in strength would only last for a short time. As long as he avoided the attack and waited for the increase in strength to pass, the threat would be greatly reduced. At that time, he would be able to kill the master of Jutian Mansion easily. The master of Jutian Mansion also realized this. He wanted to kill Fang Chen while his combat strength was still increasing. When he saw Fang Chen escaping, his face turned ferocious and his eyes turned red. He attacked crazily. Boom! 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 The entire sky was trembling. The battle quickly entered a white-hot stage. Fortunately, he had the primitive tribe's token in Princess Huang's hand. This allowed Fang Chen to be evenly matched with the Berserk Mansion Master of Absolute Heaven Mansion. As time passed, the Berserk Mansion Master of Absolute Heaven Mansion finally could not hold on any longer. I can't accept this. He uttered a furious roar as the force on his body dissipated rapidly. In the blink of an eye, his face had become shriveled. Fang Chen took hold of the opportunity to kill him in the blink of an eye. No. The heaven-severing mansion master still wanted to escape, but it was of no use. In front of absolute strength, Everything was like floating clouds. Crack! Fang Chen broke the head of the Absolute Heaven Mansion's neck, and his body fell limply to the ground. Whoosh! A cool breeze blew on Fang Chen's face, and his breathing gradually calmed down. After he confirmed that Manor Master Ju Tian was dead, he turned his head to look at Princess Huang. The latter's clothes were stained with blood. "What happened to your hand?" Fang Chen hurriedly went forward and asked. Princess Huang shook her head. "I'm fine. It's just a small injury." Fang Chen grabbed Princess Huang's wrist and sensed that her internal organs were injured. It should be caused by the berserk state of the Absolute Heaven Mansion's mansion master just now. "Sit down," Fang Chen said. Princess Huang did not know what was going on, but after hearing Fang Chen's words, she subconsciously sat down. The latter placed his hands on her shoulders, and a scorching force immediately drilled into her body. In a short while, her internal injuries were alleviated. The injuries to your internal organs have already been contained. However, you still need to recuperate. You will not be able to fight in the short term, Fang Chen warned. Princess Huang nodded. "Thank you. You were injured because of me," Fang Chen said. They did not expect that after entering the core area, they would encounter enemies so frequently. Obviously, the danger of the core area was much more than they had imagined. Moreover, the fight for the Ghost Emperor's weapon seemed to have become even more confusing. "Let's leave this place first." They did not know who the master of the old man who attacked them was. Now, he had killed the Absolute Heaven Mansion's mansion master. Along the way, the two of them discussed the current situation. "The Ghost Emperor's weapon hasn't appeared yet?" Fang Chen asked. Princess Huang shook her head. She knew a little about the Cliff of Death. The Ghost Emperor's weapon was in the core area of the Cliff of Death. It might involve the Jialuo clan, so it would be difficult to fight for it. Once the Ghost Emperor's weapon appears, it will definitely shake the entire Cliff of Death. "But I have a hunch that it will appear soon," Princess Huang said. Before entering the Cliff of Death, her master had told her that she would experience a life and death transformation in the Cliff of Death. Moreover, when the Ghost Emperor's weapon appeared, she would encounter the greatest crisis in history. Now, the crisis was approaching. "I don't know what role the Jialuo clan played in this incident," Princess Huang muttered. The Jialuo clan's encampment was in the core area. Obviously, this place was related to the 6 paths of reincarnation. There was even a path of reincarnation. The Jialuo clan definitely knew that a powerful weapon like the Ghost Emperor's weapon was here. If they didn't want the outside world to fight for the Ghost Emperor's weapon, no one would be able to get it. "I wonder how Jiaoju is now." Fang Chen looked into the distance. If Jiaoju was here, he could beat around the bush and get some information about the Ghost Emperor's weapon from him. Unfortunately, something seemed to have happened in the Jialuo clan's encampment. Jiaoju was urgently summoned back. Princess Huang's spiritual sense entered the token and saw a map of the starry sky. On the map, the core area of the Cliff of Death was marked. Soon, she roughly knew how to proceed. 10,000 miles ahead, there is a dilapidated city. Let's go there first. Then, we will go to the place where the Ghost Emperor's weapon appears, Princess Huang said. All right. Fang Chen nodded. The two of them moved side by side. Not long after, they arrived 10,000 kilometers away. As far as the eye could see, in the desolate desert, there was a city that had been sealed off. Only when they got closer did they discover that this city was extremely dilapidated. Only a few simple frames remained. Moreover, after experiencing the baptism of time, it had become incomparably barren. After Fang Chen and Princess Huang stepped into the dilapidated city, they felt a strange aura. The pressure increased. What city is this? To be able to build a city in the core area of the Cliff of Death, it must be an extremely powerful force. I'm not sure. Let's explore it first. Princess Huang carefully checked the surrounding situation and said in a low voice. Time had left a deep mark on the dilapidated city. If it wasn't for the records on the starry sky map, it would be impossible to discover this dilapidated city. Fang Chen suspected that this city was related to the primitive tribes. Or rather, the primitive tribes had been here before. Otherwise, Why would they have a map of this place? Chapter 3881. In the dilapidated city, there were countless dilapidated fences and dilapidated walls. As the wind blew, the dust dispersed, revealing the true appearance of the dilapidated city. On those dilapidated walls, there were countless fierce and overbearing marks. With just a glance, one would lose their consciousness. Princess Huang's delicate body trembled violently. In her mind, her primordial spirit was struggling fiercely. She was like a walking corpse. Her eyes were lifeless and she was deeply controlled by those marks. Seeing this, Fang Chen wanted to wake her up, but he was shocked to find that his body seemed to be out of control. He wanted to raise his palm, but he found that his body was incomparably heavy. He felt an ancient and vicissitude aura drilling into his mind, madly attacking his primordial spirit, as if it wanted to devour his primordial spirit. He was roaring in his heart. His primordial spirit at the Tao manifestation realm revolved crazily. His perfect bloodline also revolved automatically, releasing a terrifying bloodline aura. He felt a chill on his back. He was startled and instantly woke up. Who? The moment he woke up, Fang Chen felt a lingering fear. If it wasn't for his primordial spirit that was close to the Tao manifestation realm, he was afraid that he would have turned into a walking corpse. He didn't have time to think and quickly came to Princess Huang's side. His palm exerted force and chopped at Princess Huang's fair neck, knocking her unconscious. Who? He hugged Princess Huang and placed her on the ground. After ensuring that she was safe, Fang Chen breathed a sigh of relief. What a surprise! Fang Chen couldn't help but exclaim. He carefully turned his head and looked at the marks left on the dilapidated walls. His mind shook violently again. Fortunately, his primordial spirit that was close to the Tao manifestation realm stabilized his mind completely. He could also be considered to have withstood the impact of the marks on the walls. What happened in this dilapidated city? Fang Chen was incomparably curious. Just the marks left on the walls could make him, a peak 9th Order Saint Realm expert, almost turn into a walking corpse. There was no need to think about it. This city must have experienced a shocking battle in the past. Fang Chen even suspected that those broken marks were most likely from the hands of a primal chaos supreme. Of course, it was just a guess. Who? He panted heavily and only calmed down after a long time. Not long later, Princess Huang woke up. Her mind was blank as she looked at Fang Chen in a daze. What just happened? Princess Huang asked. She only remembered that after she entered the dilapidated city with Fang Chen, she lost consciousness. Don't look at the marks on the wall, Fang Chen hurriedly reminded. Princess Huang also realized where the problem was. She simply closed her eyes. Fang Chen explained, the marks on the walls are most likely the main reason for the destruction of this city. Just now, you were attacked by the remaining power on the marks and lost your mind. After listening to Fang Chen's explanation, Princess Huang was incomparably shocked. This, even though she knew that those who were able to build a city in the core area of the Death Cliff were mostly peak powers, she was truly unable to imagine that the traces left on the walls would still possess such inconceivable power after experiencing the baptism of time. It was simply frightening. What should we do now? Princess Huang asked. Her voice was filled with worry. Fang Chen patted her shoulder lightly and comforted, I will explore the city first. You rest here. After I finish exploring, we will continue moving forward. Princess Huang nodded. Fang Chen stood up. His primordial spirit that was close to the Tao manifestation realm revolved. A powerful spiritual sense enveloped his body as he began to explore the dilapidated city. The dilapidated city wasn't big. He could see the end of it with a glance. But when Fang Chen arrived at the center of the city, he was shocked to discover that after the soil on the ground was blown away, some complicated handwriting was revealed on the white jade slab. What kind of handwriting is this? Why can't I recognize it? Fang Chen was somewhat curious. The handwriting on the white jade slab was extremely complicated. It didn't seem to belong to this era. It was more like hieroglyphics. Could it be a certain era of civilization? The more Fang Chen came into contact with the secrets of heaven and earth, the more he understood that before the age of chaos, The primal chaos void had experienced countless eras of civilization. Each era of civilization had its own cultivation method. For example, he had learned from the fisherman that in the most ancient era of civilization, there was the most complete cultivation system, which was the so-called 13th order of the sage realm. However, in this age of chaos, the 13th order of the sage realm had long since ceased to exist. When one era of civilization replaced another era of civilization, some things were bound to disappear. These complicated words were most likely passed down from ancient times. Fang Chen observed them carefully for a long time, but he couldn't see through the mystery. He thought of the fisherman. Could these words be from the fisherman's era? In the end, Fang Chen decided to record these complicated words in his mind first. He would slowly study them in the future. His spiritual sense spread out and enveloped the handwriting on the white jade slab. However, when his spiritual sense came into contact with the handwriting on the white jade slab, there was a sudden change. The words seemed to have spirituality and attached themselves to his spiritual sense. After discovering this scene, Fang Chen was stunned. His spiritual sense returned to his primordial spirit, and those complicated words were actually branded in his primordial spirit. What's going on? Fang Chen was stunned. He could clearly see that there were complete words in his primordial spirit. After these words were branded in his primordial spirit, they became abnormally quiet, as if they were just ordinary words. This scene made Fang Chen somewhat dumbfounded. Forget it, I'll talk about it in the future. He shook his head and then scanned the city. There was no other abnormality, and finally returned to Princess Huang's side. Did you find anything? Princess Huang asked. Fang Chen said, I found some strange words on the white jade slab. I don't recognize them. He described the shape of the words to Princess Huang, but the latter also expressed that she didn't know. Combined with the traces of destruction on the wall, these words are very likely to have existed since ancient times, Princess Huang said. If we can successfully leave the Cliff of Death, I will personally find Master and let him help you solve your doubts. Thank you, Fang Chen said. After the two rested for a short while in the broken city, they continued forward. According to Princess Huang's starry sky map, their location was not far from the place where the Ghost Emperor's ghost artifact appeared. They would reach it in about a month's journey. A month? Fang Chen's pitch-black eyes looked into the distance. He only hoped that this trip would be successful in obtaining the ghost artifact, and then he would leave the core area without stopping. This place involved reincarnation, which always made Fang Chen feel uneasy. The Jialuo clan should also know about the existence of the ghost artifact, Princess Huang said. Not long ago, Jiu was urgently recalled. It is very likely that it is related to this matter. What is the Jialuo clan's attitude? Logically speaking, the Jialuo clan controlled the 6 paths of reincarnation and never interfered with the matters of the cultivation world. As long as reincarnation was not involved, they would not easily take action. Could it be that the ghost artifact was involved in reincarnation? Chapter 3882. For Fang Chen, the most important thing was to gather ultimate power to increase his combat strength. Otherwise, even if the ghost weapon appeared, he would not be qualified to fight for it. There was still a month's journey to the location of the ghost weapon. During this time, Fang Chen and Princess Huang slowed down. As they walked, they searched for relics and cultivation resources. In a strange area, a black-robed ancient martial art practitioner stood with his hands behind his back. His face was ferocious and extremely angry. Behind him, several servants were reporting on their recent exploration. Master, that person seems to be heading in the direction of the Jialuo clan's base. One of the servants lowered his head and said. Obviously, this was not the result that the master wanted to see. However, there was no other way. That person's movements were extremely special. They could not catch his tracks at all. The Jialuo clan's base? The black-robed ancient martial art practitioner said coldly. Humph, naive person. He actually wants to find the Jialuo clan's base. What a joke. He knew very well what the Jialuo clan meant. Even he did not dare to confront the Jialuo clan directly. If the Jialuo clan's base was not in the core area, he would have already obtained the Ghost Emperor's ghost weapon and would not have ended up like this. Now, after sleeping for countless years, he had just woken up and his servant had been killed by a mysterious person. This was a blatant provocation to him. No matter what, he had to tear the murderer into pieces. Without Master's permission, we dare not approach the Jaluor clan's base. Do you know? The servant asked. They were asking for the Master's permission. After all, that was the Jaluor clan's base. They did not dare to enter rashly. Otherwise, it was very likely that they would bring unnecessary trouble to the Master. Don't worry about this for now. The black-robed ancient martial art practitioner waved his hand. As long as he was still in the core area, there would be a day when they would meet. At that time, he would personally take action and make the person beg for death. Of course, before that, he had more important things to do. Have you found out about the devouring demon clan's movements? The black-robed ancient martial art practitioner asked, changing the topic. This was what he was most concerned about. Yes. In the shocking war back then, there were experts from the devouring demon clan who participated in it. The leader was the winged demon king. According to the information we received, it is suspected that the winged demon king is still alive, the servant replied. Winged demon king. This name was like thunder in the ears of the devil-devouring clan and even the origin world. Back then, he had led the experts of the devouring demon clan to break through the death cliff. In the end, he had disappeared without a trace. It was rumored that the winged demon king had fallen in the death cliff. However, after so many years, the black-robed ancient martial art practitioner had revived. His first plan was to find the winged demon king. And the black-robed cultivator stood with his hands clasped behind his back, waiting for the servant's answer. The servant said, "We noticed that recently, some people from the devouring demon clan have secretly entered the core area. Although they are moving separately, their destination is surprisingly the same. We suspect that they are here to find the winged demon king." Who is leading the team? The black-robed martial artist asked. It's the Holy Land's veteran expert, Yi Fei, the servant said. The demon-devouring clan had 4 holy lands. Among them, the winged demon Holy Land was the weakest. This was because the Holy Lord, the winged demon king, had disappeared. Otherwise, given the winged demon king's strength and reputation, he would have easily occupied the top position among the 4 holy lands. It was a pity. The current winged demon Holy Land had fallen to the bottom. There was a shortage of young people in the Holy Land. Only the veteran expert, Yi Fei, was holding on bitterly. If not for the fact that the winged demon king had fallen, the other 3 holy lands would have attacked the winged demon Holy Land long ago. Although the Source World was the main camp of the demon-devouring clan, as a clan, they would still compete with each other. This was the cruelty of reality. Contact Yi Fei, the black-robed ancient martial art practitioner said. The servant said, according to the information sent back by our spies, Yi Fei will pass by here in half a month. At that time, Master, you can directly appear and talk to Yi Fei. Undercurrents were surging in the vast death cliff. Not long ago, Great Emperor Mier had appeared. After knowing that Lung Xian had fallen into the Soul River, he went on a killing spree and killed the expert who had attacked Lung Xian. He had almost shattered the void. After that, Great Emperor Mier had disappeared. Some said that he had resolutely entered the Soul River to save Lung Xian. Some said that Great Emperor Mier had gone into seclusion to break through to the chaotic supremacy realm before saving Lung Xian. However, no one had expected Great Emperor Mier to enter the core area and find an expert from the same era as him. Xing Wang. In front of a thatched cottage, Great Emperor Mier, who was covered in demonic aura, stood quietly like an ordinary person and called out softly. Creak. The door opened and an old man with white hair walked out with a hunched back. I never thought that I would be able to see you again after so many years, Great Emperor Mier. It's really not easy. A smile appeared on Xing Wang's withered face. They belonged to the most ancient era. With the passage of time and the change of eras, in the current age of Dharma's end, the experts of their era had all fallen. Even the ancient civilization no longer existed. Only a few people, for some reason, were still alive in the cliff of death. Xingwang, I have a request, Great Emperor Miayu said. If anyone was here, they would be extremely shocked. Great Emperor Miayu, who could destroy the world with a wave of his hand, was pleading in front of Xingwang. This old man has been abandoned by the era. I'm afraid I can't help you. Xingwang shook his head. No one could resist the invasion of time. Even if you were peerless and reached the peak, you would still turn into a pile of dirt in the end. Especially Xingwang, who had witnessed the end of the ancient era and the change of eras until the Age of Doom. All of this could not be reversed by human strength. Moreover, in his current situation, he was powerless to help even if he wanted to. Great Emperor Miayu shook his head. Xingwang, I know your situation well. There are only a few people from our era left. Only you can help me. Sigh. Xingwang sighed and did not say anything. Great Emperor Miayu said, I want to borrow your sky observation mirror. He knew that the sky observation mirror was Xingwang's treasure. In the ancient era, it had caused a bloody storm. Only by relying on the sky observation mirror could he enter the Soul River and save Lungxian. I want to enter the Soul River to save Lungxian. Only the sky observation mirror can let me in, Great Emperor Miayu continued. However, Xingwang shook his head and turned around. He looked at the distant horizon and muttered, I'm afraid I can't help you. The sky observation mirror is broken. What? Great Emperor Miayu exclaimed. He knew better than anyone how powerful the sky observation mirror was. Back then, with the sky observation mirror, Xingwang was able to suppress half-step chaotic supreme experts. He was the most promising person to enter the chaotic supreme realm. Such a chaotic supreme treasure was broken. Chapter 3883. The heavenly observation mirror was broken. This news shocked Great Emperor Miayu. As an expert from the same era as Xingwang, he knew what the heavenly observation mirror meant. That was a legendary primal chaos treasure that could allow one to find the opportunity to become an utmost paragon. What's going on? Emperor Miayu frowned in confusion. Xingwang walked to a green rock and sat down. I'm old now. I can't sit like I used to. Please forgive me, Great Emperor Miayu. Great Emperor Miayu shook his head. If he was at his peak and had a bad temper, he might have thought that Xingwang was disrespecting him. However, after being in a deep slumber for so long, there were very few people who were still alive in the same generation as them. He didn't care about this. He only wanted to save Lungxian in the Soul River. Back then, everyone knew that I had obtained the Heaven Observation Mirror. Furthermore, they ganged up on me and forced me to hand over the Heaven Observation Mirror. However, who would have known that the Heaven Observation Mirror that I had obtained was not real at all? What? Great Emperor Miayu exclaimed. This news was too shocking. He vaguely remembered that 80% of the world's experts had moved out to snatch the Heavenly Observation Mirror. They had used all kinds of methods. The battle was earth-shattering. Even the heavens and earth had almost collapsed. But now, Xingwang was telling him that the Heavenly Observation Mirror was fake. How could he accept this? To be honest, Great Emperor Miayu had also secretly participated in the battle for the Heavenly Observation Mirror. Many experts had died in his hands. But in the end, he didn't get the Heavenly Observation Mirror. Great Emperor Miayu's face was filled with shock. Fake? How is that possible? Xingwang sighed. That incident was a painful memory. Every time he thought of the Heavenly Observation Mirror, he would think of that incident. If it wasn't for the Heavenly Observation Mirror, I wouldn't have fallen to this state. Xingwang said casually. When I got the Heavenly Observation Mirror, I also thought that it was real and could help me find the Heavenly Observation Mirror. In that great war that engulfed the entire world, I relied on the Heaven Observation Mirror to deceive everyone and survive. It was also at that time that I learned that what I had was not the real Heaven Observation Mirror, but a replica. Xingwang seemed to have aged when he recalled this. Replica? What about the real Sky Observation Mirror? Great Emperor Miayu asked. The real Heaven Sight Mirror was acquired by a paragon long ago. The replica I got was the handiwork of one of the paragons, all for the sake of causing a great war. At this point, Starwhite fell silent. Even though it was a replica, it still gave him a lot of benefits. In fact, It was much more powerful than ordinary Chaos Supreme treasures. However, replicas were still replicas after all. As time passed, flaws would appear. After the world-shaking war ended, Xingwang also disappeared without a trace. Everyone believed that Xingwang had died in the war and that the Sky Observatory mirror had been obtained by some expert. The search for the Sky Observation mirror continued. However, no one would have thought that Xingwang would trigger the Sky Observation mirror replica, causing him to be heavily injured and trapped inside the Sky Observation mirror. For countless years, he had been fighting against the Heaven Observation mirror every single day. Until one day, he had discovered that the Heavenly Observation mirror had been shattered, and he had successfully escaped from danger. After that, he had been sleeping under this land for many years. He had witnessed the battle of the gods at the Cliff of Death with his own eyes. He had also witnessed the rapid development of the devouring demons. He even knew who had shattered the Sky Observation mirror replica. How could this be? Emperor Mier, you couldn't accept this fact. The Sky Observation mirror that he had been longing for was actually a replica and had been shattered by someone. The existence of the Sky Observation mirror affects the operation of the Heavenly Tao in the origin world and absorbs the Heavenly Tao's providence. That's why the devouring demon patriarch shattered it and completely refined it. Xingwang recalled that the devouring demon patriarch was the most powerful existence he had ever seen. He was a supreme expert who had the potential to become a primal chaos controller. Back then, the devouring demon patriarch had shattered the Sky Observation mirror replica with a casual wave of his hand. He hadn't cared about Xingwang, who had been trapped inside the Sky Observation mirror. Then who has the real Sky Observation mirror? Emperor Mier, you asked. Fan Hu Prime, Xingwang said. Star Wang said, back then, when Autarch Fan Hu obtained the Sky Observatory mirror, he wanted to become a primal chaos controller. The reason he created the replica was to cause a great war and absorb the life force and primordial spirit fragments of the experts who died in battle. Unfortunately, the result hadn't been as he had wished. Becoming a primal chaos controller was too difficult. Fan Hu Prime? Emperor Mier Yu's pupils shrank as his body trembled. Is he still alive? Fan Hu Prime had been publicly acknowledged as a top expert in their era. Was he still alive after obtaining the Sky Observation mirror? Xingwang shook his head. I don't know. Everyone who hadn't become a prime was an ant. They didn't know anything about primal chaos sovereigns, and they would never be able to reach that level unless they personally stepped into the primal chaos realm. The mysteries of heaven and earth are unparalleled. Even though we once stood at the peak, we still couldn't see the true face of the world. Only by stepping into the primal chaos realm do we have the right to pursue the illusory legends, Xingwang said. It's not easy for us to survive from the most ancient era until now. Let's treasure it. Xingwang then dragged his hunched body back to the thatched hut. Emperor Mier Yu stood on the ground in a daze. He'd always thought that he was only a step away from becoming a prime, but after hearing Xingwang's words, his heart was in chaos. The Sky Observation mirror that he'd risked everything and almost lost his life for back then was just a replica refined by Fan Hu Prime. Ridiculous, really ridiculous. Suddenly, Emperor Mier Yu revealed a self-deprecating smile and left. In the thatched hut, Xingwang sighed and closed his eyes in pain. Not long after, Fang Chen and Princess Huang arrived at a mountain range. As soon as they entered the mountain range, they felt a gloomy and terrifying feeling. This mountain range isn't simple. Be careful. The closer they were to the place where the ghost artifact appeared, the more dangerous it was. Fang Chen looked around vigilantly. Princess Huang's fair hand held the token given by her master, ready to activate it at any time. Buzz. Intermittent wails could be heard in the air. Fang Chen frowned and listened carefully. Is this a resentment that hasn't dissipated since ancient times? No wonder the yin qi in this mountain range was so heavy. It turned out that there was a resentment that hadn't dissipated since ancient times. Let's go and take a look. Following the resentment, Fang Chen and Princess Huang rushed over. Countless bones were buried by the wind and sand under their feet. Squeaking sounds could be heard when their feet stepped on them. The cold wind rustled, and the resentment that hadn't dissipated since ancient times wailed in the wind. The divine beast bloodline in Fang Chen's body showed signs of abnormality. Chapter 3884. In the Eerie mountain range, Fang Chen explored carefully. The deeper he went, the more he could feel the lingering resentment in the void, wailing in the wind. They seemed to be recounting their past. However, what surprised Fang Chen the most was that the divine beast bloodline in his body was acting strangely. Wang. The black tortoise bloodline circulated automatically, forming a layer of black tortoise armor on the surface of his skin, protecting Fang Chen's physical body. The vermilion bird bloodline was also flowing. The two divine beast bloodlines intertwined and vibrated continuously, as though they were guiding Fang Chen forward. What exactly is it? Why can it cause the two divine beast bloodlines to act strangely at the same time? Fang Chen frowned as he pondered. He sensed carefully and followed the guidance of the two divine beast bloodlines. Soon, Fang Chen came to the deepest part of the Eerie mountain range. Crash! Suddenly, he felt a flash of black light in front of him. He looked around but saw nothing. Am I seeing things? Fang Chen thought quickly. There was a flash of black light, but the surroundings were dead silent. There was nothing. Did you discover something? Princess Huang asked. There seems to be something around us. Fang Chen took out the sky-crushing sword and the ultimate power in his body vibrated. With his feet as the center, the ultimate power continued to spread, forming a small sword territory around him. Wang. Indeed, the moment the sword territory was formed, the black light flashed again. However, in the next second, the black light fell into the sword territory and struggled desperately. Fang Chen opened his eyes wide and looked ahead. In the sword territory, a huge black demonic beast let out an angry roar. This is Demon Shadow? Princess Phoenix's expression changed greatly. She had once followed her master and roamed the world. She had also read many ancient books. Those ancient books recorded some secrets of the primal chaos. Among them, there were records about the core of the Death Cliff. The ancient books mentioned that there was a terrifying demonic tribe in the core of the Death Cliff. They were called Demon Shadows. They could change their appearance and body shape at will. The only thing that didn't change was the black fur all over his body. Demon Shadow was the collective name given to this group of demons because they were as fast as the wind. They flew in the void without leaving a trace. Even a sage of the pinnacle could barely see their phantoms and could not really capture their tracks. One could imagine how powerful Yarrow Ying was. Roar. The Demon Shadow was restricted by the sword domain. Its speed was reduced, and it was struggling. Boom. Boom. Demon Shadow began to bombard the sword domain. Fang Chen's ultimate power continued to surge out, supporting the sword domain. Fang Chen wielded the heaven-destroying sword and manipulated the sword territory to close in on the Demon Shadow. Princess Phoenix reminded, Yarrow Ying is very strong. He is most proficient in the Tao of space. I know what I'm doing. After Demon Shadow appeared, Fang Chen sensed that his real realm was probably at the peak of the invincible saint realm. There was still some distance between him and the ultimate saint. The current Fang Chen was more than enough to deal with it. Swoosh. Ultimate power circled around and the sword domain expanded, completely enveloping Demon Shadow. At this moment, Demon Shadow also sensed that Fang Chen was approaching. It opened its mouth and spat out black light. Dong. 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 The black light was blocked by Fang Chen's heaven-destroying sword. Boom. Then, the battle broke out. Fang Chen used his absolute power to fight against Demon Shadow. At the start, he only wanted to get rid of Demon Shadow. However, as they fought, he realized that Demon Shadow's space Tao was incredible. He suddenly had an idea. If he had Yarrow Ying as his mount, what would that be like? With Demon Shadow's attainments in the space Tao, his speed was unparalleled. He could pass through any dangerous place at will. This would greatly increase his competitiveness. Bang! After a while, Fang Chen slashed out with his heaven-destroying sword and pierced Demon Shadow's body. Demon Shadow let out a blood-curdling scream. At the same time, Fang Chen activated his sword territory and suppressed Demon Shadow. Demon Shadow was suppressed and it struggled with all its might. However, it was useless. Stop struggling. It's useless. Fang Chen grinned. You have two choices now. Die or submit to me and become my mount. Dream on. Demon Shadow spoke in human language and it was furious. As a demon shadow, it was actually suppressed by a human. It was filled with indignation and anger. Attack their primordial spirits, Princess Huang said. She had read ancient books and had some understanding of demon shadow. Their speed was unparalleled and they were skilled in the space Dao. However, their soul Dao was their weakness. This was especially so for their primordial spirits. Once targeted, they would be completely paralyzed. Indeed, after hearing Princess Huang's words, Demon Shadow panicked. Buzz. A terrifying soul Dao power suddenly descended. Lin Fan's primordial spirit, which was close to the Dao manifestation realm, released its strongest spiritual consciousness. The destructive aura invaded Demon Shadow's mind. At the start, Demon Shadow was still struggling. However, as time passed, Demon Shadow's eyes turned blurry and it turned into a walking corpse. When Fang Chen withdrew his spiritual consciousness, Demon Shadow's eyes were empty and it had lost its mind. Fang Chen naturally controlled Demon Shadow and made it his mount. This scene caused Princess Huang to exclaim. That was Demon Shadow and it was actually suppressed by Fang Chen. After so many years, you are probably the first person to use Demon Shadow as a mount, Princess Huang said. This fellow's attainments in the Space Dao are extremely high. With it as a mount, we can avoid many dangers. Fang Chen controlled Demon Shadow and made it smaller. Then, he sat on Demon Shadow's back with Princess Huang. Crash. Demon Shadow took off, leaving behind a series of afterimages. Let's continue forward. Fang Chen sat on Demon Shadow's back and scanned the strange mountain range. The two divine beasts' bloodlines were still in an abnormal state. This meant that there was something in the depths of the mountain range that attracted the two divine beasts' bloodlines. With Demon Shadow, he was very confident. He wanted to go to the end and take a look. Even if he encountered danger, he could ride Demon Shadow and escape from the strange mountain range. Such fast speed. Princess Huang touched her hair and couldn't help but sigh. The space around them kept changing and she was a little dazzled. After seeing Demon Shadow with her own eyes, Princess Huang believed that the ancient records of Demon Shadow were wrong. The real Demon Shadow was much stronger than what was recorded in the ancient records. Especially their attainments in the Space Dao. It was simply unimaginable. Most likely, the Jialuo race and the primordial race might not be able to catch up to them in the Space Dao. At the end of the strange mountain range, one after another, the figures of the beasts gathered at the spot. Our Demon Shadow race is a noble race. How can we be trampled on by other races? The leading Demon Shadow said angrily. We swear to protect the glory of our race. The other Demon Shadows let out deafening voices. Chapter 3885. The Monster Shadow Clan was extremely special. Although they were different from the ancient divine beasts, they were one of the top clans of the monster beasts. Their clan had very few members to begin with. Now, there was a human who dared to use them as mounts. He was simply courting death. The leader of the Monster Shadow Clan was enraged. He immediately gave an order to find this human cultivator and kill him at all costs. Next, the Monster Shadow Clan started a comprehensive search. As for Fang Chen, he was led by the Monster Shadow Clan to the end of the strange mountain range and circled in the sky above. Roar! The Monster Shadow Clan let out a loud cry, scaring away all the birds hiding in the towering trees. Fang Chen looked down. His pitch-black eyes flickered as if he wanted to find something strange. Wang. The two ancient divine beast bloodlines in his body became increasingly abnormal and uncontrollable. Fang Chen was even more certain that what attracted the ancient divine beast bloodlines must be at the end of the strange mountain range. Fang Chen scanned the entire end of the strange mountain range but did not find anything. The entire mountain range was quiet and peaceful. It was simply unbelievable that this was the core of the Death Cliff, which was filled with danger. Even Princess Huang's pretty face was also filled with astonishment. How can this be? When they first entered the strange mountain range, they could still feel the oppressive aura in the air. But now, after reaching the end, they did not find anything. Even the air had become fragrant. It was peaceful and quiet, as if they were in a paradise. It was unbelievable. Something's wrong. There must be a reason for this abnormality. He controlled the Monster Shadow Clan and prepared to descend. However, the Monster Shadow Clan kept struggling and did not want to land at the end of the mountain range. Seeing this, Fang Chen's heart jumped. He noticed that the body under the Monster Shadow Clan's feathers seemed to be trembling slightly. What was it afraid of? Fang Chen communicated with the Monster Shadow Clan. The latter told him that there was great danger at the end of the strange mountain range. If he was not careful, he would die here. Danger. Fang Chen pondered for a moment, before deciding to continue descending to find out what it was that could cause such a reaction from the bloodlines of the two godly beasts. Danger and opportunity coexisted, and riches were sought in the midst of danger. Fang Chen naturally understood this principle. He had experienced a lot to reach his current level of cultivation. He had especially learned from the fisherman that the 13th level of the Saint Realm was the complete cultivation system of the most ancient era. Moreover, the 13th level Saint Realm was the only way to reach the primal Chaos Supreme Realm. Right now, he was stuck at 9th level True Saint Realm. There was still a long way to go before he could reach 10th level True Saint Realm. Perhaps, the hidden opportunities below would allow him to gather more ultimate force. Only then would he be able to step into the 10th Order True Saint Realm as soon as possible. As long as one could step into the 10th Order True Saint Realm, they would have the upper hand when competing for ghost artifacts in the core area of the Death Cliff. Whoosh! Fang Chen took a deep breath and spread out his hands. Terrifying ultimate force surged out and poured into the Monster Shadow Clan's body. The Monster Shadow Clan's eyes shone with a fiery light as it let out a cry of surprise. Ultimate power condensed into a faint halo around its body, protecting its body. This also made it feel no fear and directly descended. Crash! A gust of wind blew past and the Monster Shadow Clan finally landed on the ground. Dong dong dong! Fang Chen jumped down from the Monster Shadow Clan's body. The moment his feet touched the ground, he felt the pulse of the earth. Rumbling sounds came from the ground. Hiss hiss hiss. The vermilion bird bloodline and black tortoise bloodline circulated crazily as if they wanted to rush out of his body. The black tortoise armor covered his skin and he held the Sky Destroyer sword in his hand. He was fully armed and ready to attack at the slightest sign of trouble. Be careful. He turned his head and warned Princess Huang to stand beside the Monster Shadow Clan and not to act rashly. If there are any abnormalities, take the Monster Shadow Clan and leave this place, Fang Chen said. Princess Huang's eyes shone with a golden light as she asked worriedly, "What about you?" If she left with the Monster Shadow Clan, Fang Chen would have to face the difficulties alone. This was not something she wanted to see, so she shook her head and refused. It's dangerous for you to stay here alone. The Monster Shadow Clan and I will stay behind and fight alongside you. If anything happens, we can take care of each other. Princess Huang's attitude was firm and she was unwilling to leave. Seeing this, Fang Chen could only shake his head helplessly. Rustle, rustle, rustle. He took a step forward and seriously sensed the pulse of the earth. Outside the strange mountain range, countless monster shadows gathered here. Their eyes were ferocious as they stared into the mountain range. Crash! A gust of wind blew and a terrifying power swept through the area. The leader of the monster shadows rushed over and the other monster shadows opened up a path for him. When the leader of the monster shadows came to the front, he said coldly, "My comrades were suppressed by the human race in this mountain range. Leader, we have completely sealed off the mountain range. If the human race is still inside, he won't be able to escape. Mph, how dare he target my clan? He's simply courting death. No matter what, we have to tear him into pieces." The monster shadows were incomparably furious. The leader of the monster shadows nodded. "Even if we have to dig 3 feet into the ground, we have to find him." Following the order of the leader of the phantom beasts, the densely packed phantom beasts entered the strange mountain range. The air was filled with an oppressive aura. They quickly found the place where the monster shadows and Fang Chen fought. From the traces left behind on the battlefield, they found some clues. Advance! The leader of the Monster Shadows roared and led the Monster Shadows army to the end of the strange mountain range. At this moment, at the end of the strange mountain range, Fang Chen was carefully moving forward following the pulse of the earth. Roar! Suddenly, Demonic Shadow raised his head to the sky and let out a deafening roar. Princess Huang frowned and felt that something was wrong. After the Monster Shadows roared, countless roars could be heard from afar. It's summoning its companions. Princess Huang's expression changed drastically. Roar! Roar! The Monster Shadows let out continuous roars, summoning their companions. They also responded. The air was filled with a terrifying aura. Fang Chen also noticed this scene. What should we do? Should we kill it? Princess Huang asked. If they continued to let it live, they would be hunted down by the Monster Shadows no matter where they went. We don't have time. Its companions will be here soon. Princess Huang asked. At this moment, Fang Chen had to make a choice. Should they kill the Monster Shadows and escape, or should they continue to search for the source of the divine beast's bloodline? Let's go. Fang Chen pondered for a moment and then made a decision. He stomped his feet and jumped onto the back of the Monster Shadows. He stretched out his hand and pulled Princess Huang up. Buzz! He controlled the Monster Shadows. The latter wanted to resist but was unable to do so. Its face revealed a painful expression, but it still flew up. Chapter 3886. Fang Chen controlled the phantom beast to quickly advance. However, it was extremely difficult to cross the strange mountain range. Especially when the phantom beast reached a certain height, Fang Chen felt an unprecedented pressure. This pressure directly blocked the phantom beast's flight path, making it unable to fly. Fang Chen's expression changed. Flying is forbidden in the void. Princess Phoenix, who was behind him, also turned pale with fright. She took out the token of the primordial tribe. Her palm emitted a weak light as she instantly activated the token. A moment later, the power of the primordial tribe enveloped the two of them, resisting the terrifying pressure from the boundless void. At the same time, Fang Chen felt that the phantom beast clansmen were constantly approaching. If this continued, he would be surrounded. At that time, he would be in danger. What should I do? Fang Chen's mind raced as he tried to come up with a plan to deal with this situation. The subordinate phantom spectre let out a roar. Its face was ferocious as it sensed the aura of the phantom spectre clan approaching. It was in a half-insane state. It was struggling with all its might. Half of its mind was in a clear-headed state, wanting to break free from Fang Chen's control. The other half was corroding its brain, trying to turn it into a walking corpse. It roared, communicating with its fellow clansmen, guiding them to come and rescue it. In the blink of an eye, the phantom beast leader rushed over. It immediately discovered Fang Chen and Princess Phoenix. After roaring to the sky, it spread its wings. A terrifying power swept through the world. Its huge body moved at a speed invisible to the naked eye. In a short while, it arrived in front of Fang Chen. Insolent thief, you actually dare to attack my fellow clansmen. Die. The phantom beast leader didn't stop at all. It directly attacked Fang Chen. A vast power soared into the sky. Seeing this, Fang Chen stamped his foot, stepping on the phantom beast's head. He controlled the phantom beast to block in front of him. You're courting death. Seeing this, the phantom beast leader forcibly withdrew its power. If it didn't withdraw its power, the phantom beast under Fang Chen's feet would be heavily injured even if it didn't die. The phantom beast clan was very rare to begin with. As the leader, it would not allow any of its fellow clansmen to die. Boom! Boom! The phantom demon leader took advantage of Fang Chen's stupor to launch several consecutive attacks, but all of them were blocked. Hoo hoo hoo! The sound of something breaking through the air could be heard as a dense pack of demonic shadows swept over, completely sealing off the entire strange mountain range. A terrifying aura filled the air as all the members of the demonic shadow clan glared at Fang Chen. In particular, when they saw Fang Chen stepping on their compatriot, they were even more furious. The noble phantom demon race was actually being stepped on by a human as a mount. This was an absolute humiliation. Let it go, And I can leave your corpse intact, the spectre leader said coldly, his aura locking onto Fang Chen. Ch, you dare to use our Phantom Beast clan as your mount? You must be tired of living. Even if you're a half-martial supremacy, you'll still die today. That's right. Not only you, after killing you, everyone related to you will also die. 9. Familial extermination. This was the fate of anyone who dared to offend the Phantom Demon race. Fang Chen also realized that the Phantom Demon race did not dare to act rashly with the Phantom Demon mount under his feet. They seemed to value the lives of their fellow clansmen. He was prepared to use this to see if he could escape. If he really could not escape, then he could only fight. I have no intention of becoming enemies with your Phantom Demon race, Fang Chen said. It's just that it attacked me first, wanting to kill me. Instead, it was suppressed by me and ended up like this. It can only blame itself. Princess Huang also said, the mighty Phantom Demon race is too weak. Unable to defeat others, it resorted to using such a despicable tactic of attrition. What a joke. In the long river of chaos history, the Monster Shadow clan could be considered a famous clan. If it were to spread out that they were bullying others with numbers, and that there was even a Monster Shadow that had been subdued as a human mount, the world would surely laugh at them. You think you can leave after offending my Phantom Demon race? Sneered the leader of the Phantom Demon race. The Phantom Demon race knew this strange mountain range the best. Although it appeared calm, it was actually extremely dangerous. Even they did not dare to rashly enter it. Now, in order to save their fellow clansmen and punish the culprit, they had no choice but to enter this place. The two people before them were too naive. They actually thought they could leave this place. If you want it to die, then go ahead. Fang Chen was covered in the black tortoise armor. He punched the Phantom Demon race's head. The Phantom Demon race let out a miserable shriek as blood spurted out. Stop! Shouted the leader of the Phantom Demon race. The other clansmen of the Phantom Demon race had sinister expressions. Their eyes were scarlet red. They wanted to attack and tear Fang Chen to pieces. However, they were stopped by the leader of the Phantom Demon race in the end. What do we have to do to let it go? Asked the leader of the Phantom Demon race. This was the compromise the Phantom Demon race had made. They had to ensure the safety of their clansmen before making their next decision. If they really forced Fang Chen into a corner, their clansmen would suffer misfortune. Let it go. Fang Chen curled his lips. Will you let me go after I let it go? Evidently, that was impossible. Thus, Fang Chen planned to use the weakness of the Phantom Demon race to negotiate. Brat, I hope that you can understand your current situation. If you force us into a corner, our Phantom Demon race will kill you at all costs, said the leader of the Phantom Demon race. We've already completely sealed off the strange mountain range. You have nowhere to run. If you let it go, you'll still have a chance to live. I hope that you won't make a mistake. Even though they were furious, they were still restraining themselves. Fang Chen could not help but sigh. The Phantom Demon race was too united. Not a single one of their clansmen would give up so easily. If the human race could do the same, they would have dominated the primal chaos void long ago. Unfortunately, there were too many humans, and too many evil cultivators. They would do everything they could to get rid of their stumbling blocks, even at the cost of damaging the human race's benefits. I'll give you an incense stick's worth of time to consider, said the leader of the Phantom Demon race. This was the Phantom Demon race's final concession. If they did not agree, they could only attack. What should we do? Princess Huang whispered into Fang Chen's ear. Roar. The Phantom Demon race let out an angry roar. Blood was still flowing from its head, and its consciousness was gradually blurring, as if it was about to be devoured by the darkness. Fang Chen stared at the leader of the Phantom Demon race, thinking of a foolproof plan. He definitely could not let it go. Once he let it go, it would definitely not be able to walk out of the strange mountain range. Thus, he had to wait until it left the strange mountain range and ensure that there was no danger before he let it go. He told the leader of the Phantom Demon race his thoughts. The latter's expression was ferocious, but it nodded in agreement in the end. You can only go over from here. The leader of the Phantom Demon race pointed at the end of the strange mountain range and said coldly. Chapter 3887. The Phantom Beast leader understood the strange mountain range very well. It agreed to Fang Chen's request, but the latter could only cross the mountain range from the end. Otherwise, it would start a war. Don't trust it. There must be great danger at the end of the mountain range. Once we cross it, we might trigger danger, Princess Huang said in a low voice. Evidently, they had also realized the Phantom Beast's scheme. However, there was no other way. They could only brace themselves and cross the mountain range from the end. Roar. The Phantom Beast under their feet had completely lost its mind. It had been corroded by the black substance and had become a walking corpse. It was completely under Fang Chen's control. Okay. Fang Chen nodded and controlled the Phantom Beast to fly. When you reach the top, release my clansmen. This was the Phantom Beast leader's request and it could not be changed. Hoo. Fang Chen no longer paid attention to the Phantom Beast leader. He wholeheartedly controlled the Phantom Beast to quickly fly toward the end of the mountain range. In the blink of an eye, they had arrived at the end of the mountain range. At this moment, they could already feel the oppressive aura in the sky. Fang Chen clenched his teeth. The Xuanwu armor on his skin completely covered him. The bloodlines of the two divine beasts in his body pulsed even more abnormally. Princess Huang's body trembled slightly. Then, she leaned on Fang Chen and took out the token that her master had given her. She injected the power of the primitive tribe into it and activated it to protect herself. Roar. Suddenly, the Phantom Beast let out an angry roar. Its eyes were filled with fear. It stopped in the air and was unwilling to move forward. It was also at this moment that the leader of the Wraith Shadow Clan spoke urgently. My Wraith Shadow Clan keeps our promise. Shouldn't you release my clansmen now? Fang Chen turned his head and glanced at it. He could see the anxiety in its eyes. His heart shook slightly as he vigilantly looked around. You want to go back on your word? The Phantom Beast leader was furious when it saw Fang Chen's actions. It flew into the air and wanted to chase after Fang Chen. However, at this moment, the extremely oppressive aura at the end of the strange mountain range suddenly erupted. Then, countless rays of light shot toward them. Crack! The demonic shadow instantly transformed into a bloody mist. Miserable screams rang out incessantly. As for Fang Chen and Princess Huang, they also vanished in an instant. No! The Phantom Spectre leader roared. Its eyes were blood red. It could only watch as its clansmen died before its eyes, and it was powerless to do anything about it. It clenched its fists, itching to tear Fang Chen into pieces. However, its rationality told it that it could not approach the end of the strange mountain range. This is the humiliation of my Phantom Demon clan. We will definitely take revenge. The Fiend Shadow leader landed in the mountain range and quickly retreated. At the same time, he ordered his clansmen to leave the dangerous area. Chief, are our clansmen going to die just like that? It was all because of that damned human. Otherwise, how could the members of the demonic shadow race have died tragically at the end of the strange mountain range? That's right. Even if the end of the mountain range is a forbidden ground, we have to barge in and kill that damned human. My Phantom Demon clan cannot tolerate such a deep blood feud. The majority of the clansmen were in favor of charging into the end of the mountain range and killing Fang Chen. However, the leader of the Phantom Demon clan shook its head. It waved its hand, indicating for everyone to calm down. Everyone, I believe that you all know very well what is in this mountain range. Our clan's ancestors have once set down an ancestral rule. Even if we are to encounter a calamity of extermination, we are not to take a single step into the end of the mountain range. It took a deep breath and then continued, our clansmen will definitely be avenged. However, the time is not now. It could not allow the entire Phantom Demon clan to be exterminated for the sake of revenge. This was the ancestral rule. It was also an important responsibility that the Phantom Demon clan leader shouldered. But, the other clansmen were very unwilling to accept this. They wanted to say something, but they were all stopped by the Phantom Demon clan leader. Retreat. Pass down the order for our clansmen to completely seal off this mountain range. As long as that human dares to come out, kill him without mercy, the Phantom Demon clan leader said sinisterly. An eerie and terrifying aura pervaded the core region. One could feel an oppressive feeling from all directions. One powerful cultivator after another snuck into the core region. They only had a single goal in mind, the Ghost Emperor's ghost artifact. Of course, there were also some ancient experts who had been sleeping for billions of years who were gradually awakening. Among them, Xing Wang, Emperor Miayu, and the others were the representatives. In a strange place. Ashes were everywhere within 100 miles. This place was originally a lush grassland. However, not long ago, a great fire descended from the sky and burned this place to nothing. There was a speck of silver light in the ashes. Ah! A furious roar came from the silver light. He was the ancestor of the Phantom Demon clan. He had once teamed up with the Sword Maniac to kill Fang Chen. However, he did not expect that one of them would be killed by Fang Chen instead. He had even paid a heavy price to survive in the ashes. Whoosh! The roots of the Phantom Demon clan flashed with silver light. The Phantom Demon clan ancestor's consciousness was hidden in the roots of the tree. After using a forbidden secret technique, he had paid a heavy price. His physical body had been destroyed long ago, and his primordial spirit was on the verge of collapse. Only a sliver of consciousness remained, and he needed to absorb the power of the ashes to gradually recover. In the past few days, he carefully avoided the pursuit of countless experts. Every time he went to a grassland, he would burn it to ashes and then absorb the power in the ashes. Damned bastard, I'll definitely tear you to shreds. The Phantom Demon clan ancestor gritted his teeth. After that, he stored the power in the roots of the tree again and searched for new grasslands to absorb the power of the ashes. He believed that one day, he would be able to return to his peak and reconstruct his physical body. At that time, he would cause a storm of blood to wash away the humiliation. The Jialuo clan's base on the path of reincarnation. After Jiaoju was urgently summoned back to the base, he learned that the appearance of the Ghost Emperor's weapon would greatly affect the path of reincarnation. As a member of the Jialuo clan, his first task was to stabilize the path of reincarnation. Jiaoju, do you understand? An elder asked as he stroked his beard. Jiaoju nodded. Elder, is there anyone who can threaten the Jialuo clan in the core of the Death Cliff? The Jialuo clan controlled the 6 paths of reincarnation. Who in the world could shake them? The elder shook his head with a complicated expression. The experts in the clan once divined that when Ziwei descends, the world will be in chaos. This is a calamity for the Jialuo clan. If we can't survive it, we will be wiped out. Jiaoju exclaimed. Was it that serious? What force in the chaos void could wipe out the Jialuo clan? Could it be that old monster from the Devouring Demon clan? Has the Devouring Demon clan leader become a chaos controller? Jiaoju blurted out. If he became a chaos controller, the Jialuo clan would have ceased to exist long ago, the elder said. Now, many ancient forces that have been dormant for billions of years know that the Devouring Demon clan leader is at the most critical moment. They are all trying to stop him. Plus, the Chaos Controller level has long broken free from the Heavenly Tao. It's not that easy to reach. Chapter 3888. At the Jialuo race's base. This wasn't the true 6 paths of reincarnation. It was just a special path of reincarnation, so there weren't many Jialuo clansmen here. The person in charge was an elder called Jiao Yuan. He'd called Jiaoju back this time to tell him that the world would be thrown into chaos after Ziwei's descent. The Jialuo race would face a calamity, so he shouldn't go out during this time. Elder Jiao Yuan, what calamity will befall the Jialuo race? Jiaoju didn't understand. As a member of the Jialuo race, he knew how powerful and unfathomable the Jialuo race was. Even the demon-devouring race and primitive races didn't dare offend them. They were the top race in the world. Moreover, they controlled the 6 paths of reincarnation. Anyone from other races who reincarnated would be under the Jialuo race's control. Under such circumstances, the Jialuo race would face a calamity that even Elder Jiao Yuan was afraid of. Jiaoju couldn't figure it out. Alright, I don't know much about the calamity, Elder Jiao Yuan said in a low voice. He waved his hand and interrupted Jiaoju's question. The calamity is something I don't know, but the patriarch himself ordered it. Our 6 paths of reincarnation world has been completely sealed. You should realize the severity of the matter now, right? The 6 paths of reincarnation world being completely sealed meant that the Jialuo race's base at the core of the death cliff was isolated. If the calamity really came, they would be doomed. This was why Elder Jiao Yuan told Jiaoju not to go out. But Jiaoju still wanted to say something, but Elder Jiao Yuan stopped him. In the end, Jiao Yuan could only shake his head helplessly and prepare to leave. However, right at this moment, he suddenly thought of Fang Chen. He quickly walked over to Elder Jiao Yuan and said, "Elder Jiao Yuan, I have something to report." "What is it?" Elder Jiao Yuan asked. "Not long ago, I met a clansman. He's from the Chaos Realm's Great Monarch's bloodline," Jiaoju said. Upon hearing this, Elder Jiao Yuan's expression changed drastically. "What? The Great Monarch's bloodline?" Jiaoju nodded and continued, "I confirmed his identity over and over again. He's from the Jialuo race. He has the unique aura of the Jialuo race, and he himself said that he's from the Great Monarch's bloodline." "Alright, I understand. From now on, you're not allowed to mention the primal Chaos Realm's Great Monarch's lineage. As for that clansman, it's best that you don't meet him again. Don't get involved in any of his affairs." "Why?" Jiaoju shrugged in confusion. "No reason. It's an order," Elder Jiao Yuan scolded. Sigh, Jiaoju flicked his sleeves and turned to leave. Watching him leave, Elder Jiao Yuan's expression flickered. His gaze pierced through the void and into the distance. The words of the clan's clairvoyant echoed in his mind. The calamity of the Jialuo race was most likely related to the Chaos Realm. The lush mountain range was surrounded by steep cliffs. In the middle of the meadow, there was a lake. Plop! At the center of the lake, countless waves suddenly rose up. A figure rushed out from the water. His body was covered in blood and his face was pale. However, he still maintained a trace of rationality and desperately tried to climb to the shore. He was Fang Chen. What happened just now? Recalling the scene just now, Fang Chen's heart trembled. At the end of the strange mountain range, a terrifying light suddenly shot out. He didn't even have time to dodge before he was drowned by the terrifying light and lost consciousness. When he woke up, he found himself in a lake. Splash! He slapped the lake water and swam toward the shore. When he was about to reach the shore, his body suddenly stopped. A look of disbelief appeared on his face. Not far from the shore, there was a huge demonic beast lying on the ground. It was his mount, Yarrow Ying. "It's dead." Yarrow Ying was extremely powerful. Although he had suppressed and subdued it, according to the cultivation system of the Age of Chaos, it was at least a peak saint. Yet, it had died in such a bizarre manner. There were no wounds on its body, but Fang Chen couldn't feel any vitality. "Where's Princess Huang?" He suddenly came to a realization. That thrilling scene just now had directly killed Yarrow Ying and caused him to be heavily injured. Then, what about Princess Huang? She wasn't as strong as him. Splash! He plunged into the lake and frantically searched for Princess Huang. Finally, he found Princess Huang's figure at the bottom of the lake. The latter was entangled by the green vines and couldn't float up. At this time, she had fallen unconscious. The blood on her clothes had been washed away by the lake water. Her aura was weak and it was obvious that she was seriously injured. Fang Chen swam to the front of Princess Huang and carried her up to the shore. Fortunately, her internal organs weren't injured. Although her meridians are damaged, they can still be repaired. After a simple check on Princess Huang's condition, Fang Chen heaved a sigh of relief. Although she was unconscious, at least her life wasn't in danger. Moreover, he could feel that there was a special force swimming in Princess Huang's body. It should be a backup plan left behind by the primitive race, right? After all, her master knew her identity from the beginning. It was impossible for him to let her enter the cliff of death without a care. In the following time, Fang Chen first treated his own injuries. He swallowed a lot of healing pills and relied on his primordial spirit that was close to the Tao manifestation realm. Finally, his body recovered in more than 10 days. After that, he began to treat Princess Huang's injuries. First, what he had to do was to repair Princess Huang's meridians. He had to repair the damaged meridians and unblock the blocked meridians. He also had to let her internal organs absorb the energy of heaven and earth again to stimulate her primordial spirit and let it operate normally. A month later, Princess Huang woke up leisurely. During this period, Fang Chen had investigated this place. There was no one in a radius of 100 miles. Ever since he came here, the two divine beast bloodlines in his body had become abnormally quiet and no longer agitated. This made Fang Chen puzzled. What kind of place was this? Previously, in the sky above the strange mountain range, what happened? Why were the two of them only injured but Yarrow Ying died? Could it be that Yarrow Ying helped them block the fatal blow? Where are we? While Fang Chen was thinking, Princess Huang opened her eyes and asked weakly. Fang Chen shook his head and briefly explained what had happened. Princess Huang was stunned. She didn't expect Yarrow Ying to die. How do you feel? Fang Chen asked. Much better. Princess Huang was quite touched. Fang Chen had saved her many times. She said in a low voice, "Thank you." Fang Chen waved his hand. They could be considered comrades who had fought side by side. They had experienced a lot together and had the same goal. They were all looking for the Ghost Emperor's ghost artifact. With one more person, there would be one more force. Recuperate first. When your injuries are completely healed, we will find a way out. Chapter 3889. In a strange region, the void was filled with an oppressive aura. The lake was calm and there were occasional ripples on the surface. On the shore, Fang Chen sat cross-legged. His skin was covered with a layer of black tortoise armor. Traces of ultimate power circled around his body, and the power in his body rippled. He was trying to condense the fourth ultimate force. He remembered clearly that the fisherman had once said that the ancient complete cultivation system was the legendary 13th level Saint Realm. From 9th level to 10th level, it was an insurmountable gap for ordinary people. With the current Dharma ending age, it was extremely difficult to cross it. However, Fang Chen was different from others. He was an ultimate cultivator and possessed ultimate force. Moreover, he had comprehended the ultimate sword Tao. This was his advantage. After all, the fisherman had said that only ultimate cultivators could step into 13th level Saint Realm. Only by condensing 10 ultimate forces could one step into 10th level Saint Realm. Buzz. He formed a seal with his hands and the 3 ultimate forces in his body revolved wildly. He was absorbing the power of heaven and earth and using the ultimate sword Tao to refine them. Beside him, Princess Huang was protecting him. When she saw the ultimate sword light above Fang Chen's head, a trace of shock appeared on her face. Even the younger generation of the 4 major branches can't be compared to him, right? The more she interacted with Fang Chen, the more Princess Huang sighed. The former's potential was too heaven-defying. She had never seen such a heaven-defying genius. Dong, dong, dong. When condensing the 4th ultimate force, Fang Chen encountered some difficulties. He took out a piece of black wood from his chest. This was a divine wood that he had obtained not long ago in a certain region. It was said that this piece of black wood came from the ancient Black Sky Divine Wood. It was the legendary Chaos Divine Wood. When the Chaos Divine Wood was at its peak, it was a powerful material that could be used to refine supreme-grade weapons. However, with the outbreak of the ancient Divine War, the Black Sky Divine Wood was destroyed and only a piece of blackwood was left. After Fang Chen obtained this piece of black wood, he was not in a hurry to refine it. Only now did he take it out. Hiss, hiss. After all, this piece of black wood came from the divine Black Sky Wood. It was extremely difficult to refine it. Thus, he wasn't in a hurry. He opened his palm and a wisp of flame danced. He placed the piece of black wood on the flame and began to refine it. This was his natal flame. After all these years of nurturing, it could burn the world. After a while, a faint sound could be heard. The cracks on the black wood were getting bigger and bigger. The fire was working. Fang Chen smiled when he saw this and continued to control the fire. 3 days later, the black wood was completely refined. The thick wood energy was completely absorbed into Fang Chen's body and fused with the three ultimate powers. The instant the two came into contact, the world energy stored in his body suddenly exploded. The impurities were rapidly refined, and the three ultimate energies took this opportunity to enter and completely refine the pure world energy. At this moment, the power of heaven and earth was gradually being replaced by the ultimate power, and the thick wood attribute energy within the black wood was being absorbed by the fourth ultimate power that was gradually forming. Dong dong dong. A thunderous sound came from within his body. Fang Chen closed his eyes, placed his hands on his knees, and entered a state of cultivation. The fourth ultimate power had been condensed. For the rest of the time, he just needed to stabilize it. Seeing this, Princess Huang heaved a sigh of relief. Time passed bit by bit. This state lasted for about half a month. On this day, Fang Chen finally opened his eyes. However, to his surprise, the ultimate power in his body wasn't 4 but 5. How is this possible? Fang Chen was extremely shocked. He had only condensed the fourth ultimate power. Why was there 5 ultimate power in his body now? Condensing 2 at once. It shouldn't be. According to his calculations, the wood attribute energy within the black wood could only support 1 ultimate power. It was impossible to condense 2 ultimate powers at the same time. What was going on? Fang Chen fell into a state of confusion. He carefully observed the situation within his body. Finally, after some exploration, he understood the truth of the matter. It turned out that, when he was refining the black wood, he had triggered the power of the dark sky divine tree spiritual spring hidden within the black wood. As a result, the wood attribute energy had mutated. When he condensed the ultimate power, not only did the wood attribute energy help Fang Chen to condense the fourth ultimate power, it even formed an ultimate power of its own. In the past half a month, it had evolved into the real ultimate power. Phew! Fang Chen took a deep breath and his face was filled with joy. There's actually such an effect. Fang Chen grinned. Looking at the withered black wood in front of him, he was filled with emotions. The remaining power of the dark sky divine tree spiritual spring in the black wood could help me condense the 5th ultimate power. If the real dark sky divine tree was here, would it be able to help me step into 10th level saint realm? Of course, this was just a random thought. After all, the dark sky divine tree had been destroyed in the ancient war of the gods. He reached out and picked up the withered black wood in front of him. Although the wood attribute energy within the black wood has been absorbed by me, this black wood is still a rare refining material. He rolled his eyes and took out the sky-crushing sword. Buzz! After getting Fang Chen's nod, the sky-crushing sword released endless rays of light that shrouded the withered black wood. In the blink of an eye, it devoured the black wood. After devouring the black wood, the sky-crushing sword's aura became stronger. Furthermore, complex runes appeared on the blade of the sword. These runes originated from the black wood. It has become stronger. Fang Chen held the hilt of the sky-crushing sword and felt a strong force coming from it. The sky-crushing sword was originally a peak saint weapon. Now that it had absorbed the black wood, it had broken through the shackles and stepped into a new level. If he attacked with all his might, he could defeat any 9th level saint realm expert. According to the outside world, he was now at the peak saint realm. It's a blessing in disguise. Fang Chen kept the sky-crushing sword and muttered to himself. Congratulations. Princess Huang's bell-like voice sounded. Fang Chen nodded. This time, his strength had increased because of the black wood and the special environment here. How's your injury? Fang Chen asked. It has healed. Princess Huang said. Fang Chen continued, from now on, we can explore this special place and find a way out. Fang Chen thought that this area should be at the end of the strange mountain range. It was very likely to be a space of its own. As long as they found the exit, they would be able to get out. Of course, before that, he had to explore this area seriously. His intuition told him that there was something that could cause the bloodline of the 2 divine beasts to change. Chapter 3890. Yarrow Ying's death was a great loss to the Demon Shadow clan. The Demon Shadow clan was enraged and their leader was even more furious. He led his people to seal off the entire mountain range. Even a fly would find it difficult to fly in. However, Fang Chen was oblivious to all of this. He had refined the black wood and formed the fifth ultimate power. His combat strength had increased tremendously. He had also refined the remaining black wood into the sky-crushing sword, transforming it into a peak sacred class weapon. His combat strength had also increased in all aspects. Now, he could be considered as a peak rank 9. Before exploring the way out, Fang Chen wanted to find out what secrets were hidden here. Why did the two divine beasts' bloodlines react? Why did they erupt with such terrifying power and kill Yaoying? However, he and Princess Huang were not dead. Could all of this be a coincidence? Obviously, Fang Chen did not believe it. His intuition told him that there must be something related to the two divine beasts' bloodlines hidden here. Let's split up and search. In order to save time, Princess Huang decided to split up with Fang Chen. Anyway, this place was not too big and they could see the end of it. If there was an accident, they could save each other immediately. Okay, be careful, Fang Chen said. Then, the two split up and searched. Fang Chen's perfect bloodline surged. The two ancient divine beasts' bloodlines were separated from his perfect bloodline and spread to his limbs and bones. At the same time, Fang Chen opened his palm and the two bloodline essences appeared. Buzz. When the bloodline essences intertwined, the feeling appeared again. As expected. Fang Chen's eyelids twitched as he carefully sensed the surroundings. The blood essence in his palm started to pulse. At the same time, he felt a weak guidance and started to move forward. Not long after, they arrived at the bottom of a cliff. The stream flowed quietly and the surroundings were lush. A huge green stone stood in the grass. Fang Chen's first thought was that there was something wrong with the huge green stone. Everything around the mountain stream is normal. Only this blue stone gives me a feeling that something is wrong. Fang Chen took a step forward and arrived in front of the blue stone. He pressed his palm against the blue stone. Immediately, the essence of the divine beast's blood seeped into the blue stone, causing complicated patterns to appear. These complicated patterns circled around Fang Chen's palm and quickly spread out in all directions on the blue stone. Boom! Immediately after, a violent energy burst forth. A terrifying energy soared into the sky. At this moment, Princess Huang, who was exploring on the other side, turned pale with fright. She hurriedly rushed over. What happened? Princess Huang's fair face was filled with worry. She looked at Fang Chen and her red lips parted slightly as she asked anxiously. Fang Chen didn't say anything. Right now, his attention was completely drawn to the veins on the blue stone. Hiss hiss hiss. Complex patterns circled around his palm and crisscrossed on the blue stone. At first glance, it looked disorderly, but only Fang Chen knew that these glyphs formed a powerful array. Protecting the blue stone? Fang Chen was even more certain that there was something hidden within the blue stone. He used the essence of the divine beast's blood to touch the blue stone. The blue stone automatically emitted complicated patterns and formed a powerful array, isolating it from the outside world. He raised his palm and slammed it. The blue stone shook a little. The runic array was abnormally firm and blocked Fang Chen's attack. Seeing this, he didn't attack rashly. Instead, he took out the Sky Destroyer sword. Swoosh! Ultimate power filled the air and the Sky Destroyer sword pierced out at lightning speed. On the tip of the sword, there was a shocking sword chi halo. Under the control of Fang Chen, it pierced towards the blue stone. Catcher! The runic array was pierced and a gap appeared. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Fang Chen held the essence of the divine beast's blood in his hand and reached in. Buzz! A layer of ripples spread out from within the blue stone. In an instant, it swept through the heavens and the earth. The surrounding flowers and trees turned into ashes. It was as if this place had experienced a fierce battle and turned into ruins. Fang Chen's eyes narrowed. He didn't expect the blue stone to have a self-destruct device. When it was attacked by external forces to a certain extent, it would self-destruct. Oh no! He cursed in his heart and quickly thought of a way to deal with it. At this moment, Princess Huang said, "The self-destruct device has been activated. There's no other way. Why don't you try to split the blue stone?" Hearing this, Fang Chen hurriedly picked up the Sky Destroyer sword and injected energy into it. He continuously slashed at the bluestone. Finally, he stabbed the Sky Destroyer sword into the bluestone. Only then did the bluestone crack. Egg! From the crack, Fang Chen saw a smooth egg. At this moment, the ancient divine beast's blood became more restless. It frantically went through Fang Chen's palm and entered the bluestone. It seemed that it was all absorbed by the smooth egg. What egg is this? To be able to cause the blood of two ancient divine beasts to react strangely, and to be able to absorb it and appear in such a strange place, Fang Chen's intuition told him that this egg was most likely left behind by an ancient species. Could it be left behind by a powerful person from the demon clan? Fang Chen frowned. Although the demon clan had dominated the chaotic void for a period of time in history, the main trend was still the human clan. In the history of the demon clan, there were many powerful people, but no one had heard of any rumors about this egg. After absorbing the power of the ancient divine beast's blood, the smooth egg seemed to have become stronger. At this moment, the self-destruct device inside the bluestone had been completely activated. At most, it would explode in 3 seconds. At that time, everything would turn into dust. Fang Chen naturally wouldn't let this happen. He realized that all of this was caused by the smooth egg. As long as the egg was taken out of the bluestone, the self-destruct device would naturally stop. Then there was a problem. The bluestone was surrounded by a runic array and there were many obstacles inside. How could he take the egg out safely? This was a difficult problem. Let me try. Time was of the essence and Fang Chen didn't have time to think. He stretched out his hand and was about to forcefully take out the egg. But at this moment, Princess Huang spoke. Fang Chen glanced at her. The latter's beautiful body appeared in front of the bluestone. Her fair palm passed through the crack and reached into the bluestone. Soon, she touched the smooth egg. The moment she touched it, Fang Chen felt the blood of the ancient divine beast in his body become more restless. Buzz. However, the next scene was beyond Fang Chen's expectations. The bluestone self-destruct device and the runic array that were fiercely resisting gave up when Princess Huang held the egg. She easily took out the egg and the runic array gradually dissipated. The self-destruct device inside the bluestone also stopped instantly. Fang Chen's jaw almost dropped. He had tried his best but couldn't take out the egg. Princess Huang actually took it out so easily. Could it be because she was from a primitive race?